set for baseball. Here are the starting lineups for the Cincinnati Reds against Jerry Royce, who on the season beat them 3 times and lost once. Lifetime has a record of 9-8 against the Reds, and this season his winningest year ever, 18 wins, 11 defeats, and a 5 earned run average, too, and around 230 or so. Here's the lineup for the Reds. Pete Rose will lead it off. He'll be at third base. Joe Morgan will bat second and play at second. The catcher, Johnny Bench, will hit third. In the cleanup spot at first base, Tony Perez. George Foster will be in left field. He'll bat fifth. The shortstop, Dave Concepcion, will hit sixth. Ken Griffey will be in right field and bat seventh. The center fielder will be Cesar Geronimo. He'll be hitting eighth. In the pitcher, Don Gullett, who has won 15 and lost 4 this year. Lifetime against the Pirates hasn't fared that well, winning 1 and he's lost 3. His overall record in the major leagues, he's only 24 years of age. The best winning percentage of anybody currently in the major leagues at that tender age. 80 wins and 41 defeats. And as I said, he missed 2 months of the season with a fractured thumb. Randy Stanton will lead it off against Don Gullett. He'll be at second base. Manny Sanguillen will do the catching and bat second. In the number 3 slot in center field, it'll be Al Oliver. In the cleanup spot at first base, Woody Stargell. Richie Zisk will be in left field and bat fifth. Dave Parker comes back home to Cincinnati. He'll be in right field batting sixth. Richie Hebner will bat seventh against the left-hander Gullett. He'll be at third base. The shortstop, Frank Tavares, will hit eighth. And the pitcher will be left-hander Jerry Royce with a record of 18 wins and 11 defeats. Final score out of Fenway Park, in case you're just joining our broadcast, the Boston Red Sox beat Oakland handily behind Louis Tiant, who had 9 strikeouts and a 3-hitter, 7-1. Boston 7 runs, 8 hits, and 3 errors. And Oakland 1 run on 3 hits. They committed 4 errors, 7 errors in the ball game, and the jitters, I guess, getting both ball clubs. Holtzman started, Todd in the 6th, Lindblad in the 7th, Bosman in the 7th, and Abbott in the 8th inning. Tiant the winner, and the losing pitcher, Kenny Holtzman. A football final. The Pitt Panthers, a tough ball game in their home opener, or not their home opener, but their second game of the season. Last week they opened at home. They beat Duke by the score of 14-0. I think what I was trying to say, I think it's homecoming at Pitt this weekend. Bob Moose is sitting along with us for a while, and Bobby, you look at the lineup and you try to pick out guys that may be the big sticks in this lineup. I picked out 2 that could be carrying a load, and that would be for the Pirates. Richie Zisk could be a very important bat, and I think Tony Perez for Cincinnati, because left-handers seem to dominate this series.
Yes, Kelly, I think if Richie can pick up some of the slack, I know with Golick pitching, and they got him hitting in front of Parker today, and maybe if they throw a right-hander, it's going to be reversed. But if we can get some of the left-handers on base, it's going to be, I think, really going to be up to Richie to drive him in, and Tony's in, I think, about the same spot with guys who are going to be able to get on base, and then for him to try to pick them up, you're going to have to watch a lot from those 2.
I would guess Johnny Bench has had some ailments during the season, a bad shoulder or something. He's supposed to have a groin pull, but it didn't seem to be affecting him swinging in batting practice at all.
No, I think it's one of them things that you may have something maybe bothering you a little during the season. I think when it comes down to games like this, you just about almost completely forget about anything that's bothering you.
The shadows here, you may recall in 72. Right now, the batting, the mound and the home plate area completely covered in shadows, but there'll be some daylight creeping up behind as the sun filters through between the roof and the seating arrangements here in the ballpark, and that created some problems, as I recall, in 72.
Yes, it does. It makes it very hard for the hitter to pick up the ball sometime, and also the outfielder to pick up the ball, because it's going from the dark and then into the light, bright sunlight, which is going to be around home plate area pretty soon, and it's hard for the outfielder to pick the ball up off the bat real quick.
Well, do you have any predictions on this series? A 5-game set, or?
I'd like to predict 3 for us. I think it might be maybe a 4-game series. I don't think it'll have to go 5. I think it's probably going to end up a 4-game series.
Well, I think both of these ball clubs have the ability to keep bouncing back, or they wouldn't be here. And I think the Pirates maybe more than the Reds. They had an easier season of it. But this is a rather kind of a stormy year for the Pirates, but they seem to have that one ability to come back and win ball games.
I know the ball club. I've been here with them for 8 years, and they just love to be able to have to battle back, because I know we've done it year in, year out, and beginning of the year, after coming off a good year a couple years ago, the whole ball club, they pick us for second, they pick us for third, and we're always right back where we're supposed to be, up on top. And a lot of people say that we shouldn't have the ball club, but they keep on coming back.
There's a lot of pride here, and I talked to Stennett about that in the pregame show, and I guess it's kind of a legacy that Clemente and Nazarowski left here.
I think it's a lot of the younger ball players, and I consider myself young, but I've been here a little bit longer, and it's just something that goes along with the Pirate organization when you're playing baseball. It's just you're always coming back and you're always battling to get first place, to get back up on top and then stay there and have somebody else come and get you.
You spent an entire career in the organization, and I know you had some doubts about what your future was, but you had to be pleased with the way you pitched in September, and the future's got to look a bit brighter for you now.
Oh, yes. I had some doubts myself, and then I went down and got them straightened out, and I think the ball club had more doubts than what I had myself, and I come back, and I think I proved to them that I am capable of throwing again, and I think I enlightened them on the rest of my career if it's going to be with Pirates, and that would like it to be.
Well, I get the feeling it is, talking to a lot of people that I'm sure you do, too. We're so happy for you. All right, we're set for baseball here. We'll fill you in on the dimensions. 330 down the left and right field lines, 375 in the power alleys, and 404 to straightaway center field. And the 75 Championship Series is ready to start. Don Gullett to face Rennie Stennett, and we're ready to go. Stennett wound up the year hitting at 286, 7 home runs. He drove in 62, and at age 24 has become one of the top players in the National League. He hit 388 against the Reds this year. 1 home run, he drove in 4. He had 19 hits in 49 at-bats against Reds pitching. Fastball from Gullett up high, ball 1. Gullett in previous games against the Pirates in championship play, when he started, hasn't fared too well. The pitch to Rennie, in there, taking strike 1. And the general feeling is that he is so fast that he tries to overthrow, and his fastball doesn't seem to move as much. He's quick. The 1-1 pitch. Foul, back out of play, and Stennett was right on top of that pitch. It's got to take you about an inning or 2 or 3, Bob Moose, to get through all these things in your mind pitching a big game like this, doesn't it? To get
same motion and the way you're thinking.
The 1-2 pitch, swinging on strike 3, and Stennett goes down swinging as Gullett just overpowered him with a good fastball. To be an old omen in pitching years ago anyway, that it didn't seem to be good luck to strike out the first guy, but I don't think that matters a whole lot. The best strikeout you get is the last one in the 9th inning. St. Ian hitting at 328, or he hit at 328 on the year with 9 home runs, 2 of them off Red pitching. Drove in 58, and then he wound up hitting 304 this year against Cincinnati pitching. Reds play him just a little bit to right field. Sange takes the pitch down low from Gullett, ball 1. Gullett is 6 foot, 190 pounds, solidly built, and just 24 years of age. He's already won 80 ball games in the major leagues and has lost only 41. High pop-up and fouled out of play off the first base side. And he wound up the season hitting at 328. Third leading hitter in the league behind Bill Madlock and Ted Simmons. And that's quite a tribute, Bob Moose, to a catcher or 2 of them to wind up 2nd and 3rd in this league. That's a demanding job.
If you have a catcher hits over 300 for you, you have one heck of a catcher on your ball club.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Sanguin. High fly to shallow center field. Geronimo will make the grab. 2 down. Well, a big old hot air balloon floating over the stadium. Those things always look nice from down here, but I don't think I'd like that view from up on top. If somebody sticks a pin in that thing, it's got to descend rather rapidly, I would guess. Well, 2 down and nobody on. Oliver, the batter, hit 280 on the season. Led the club, tied with Stennett, 176 hits on the year. Led the club in doubles and also runs scored. Here's the pitch by Gullett. Fastball up and in, backs him off the plate, ball 1. This is hometown country for Oliver from Portsmouth, Ohio, just a bit up the Ohio River. The 1-0 pitch, up high, ball 2, and Gullett is smoking. You can hear that ball popping in the big mid of Johnny Bench all the way up here on the 3rd deck. The count is 2-0, and the pitch is in there, taken by Oliver, strike 1. Home plate umpire Kibler at first base, Andy Olson. Frank Pulley's at second. Billy Williams at third. Tommy Gorman down the left field line. Art Williams, the right field line umpire. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Oliver. Foul, back out of play, and the count 2-2. The sun field is a very strong one in left field, and it gets worse as the afternoon wears on. The shadows now covering half of the infield between the mound and 3rd base and 2nd. The 2-2 pitch, and low, ball 3. Full count of 3-2, and the Pirates would like to get somebody on with big number 8 waiting on deck. Willie Starchel. Gullett doing a bit of Alan Raboski meditating on the front side of the mound, revving up a baseball, looking back towards center field, now climbing up the hill and going to the rosin bank. But I'm sure he knows who's on deck, too. He needs a strike. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Fouled out of play by Oliver, spoiling the pitch. This is the 5th championship series for the Pirates. The Reds have been here 3 previous times. This is their 4th. And this is the 3rd time we've met Cincinnati. They've beaten us 2 previous times. Here's a payout pitch to Al. Fouled again back out of play. But the games have usually been well-pitched ball games of both previous series. Nobody has really bombarded anybody despite all the good offensive power in both lineups. The payoff pitch again to Oliver. Ground ball right back to the mound, and Gullit got it off the bare hand, but he's all right. He's taken out at first base. He almost got his thumb stuck that time with the ball. Sharply hit ball right back to the mound, and the Bucks are down an order in the first inning. We'll go to the Reds first. No score.
You know, if I were to say to you, close your eyes and picture in your mind a bottle of beer, what would that bottle look like? For most of you, it would probably be brown, tall, and sort of slender with a long, narrow neck, right? Well, if your imaginary bottle doesn't look like that, my friend, you're probably one of the growing number of people who prefer returnable Steiny bottles of Iron City beer. A Steiny is a broad-shouldered, barrel-chested, bull-neck bottle of beer that really feels substantial in your hand. And some Steiny drinkers even claim that this bottle makes the beer taste a little better somehow. Now, that may be just an overactive imagination, but there is only one thing that is a fact. A case of 12-ounce returnable Steinies will not disappoint you. First, because they're filled with the rich, hearty goodness of Iron City beer. And second, because they're returnable, which means they're economical. So try a case of Steinies. Get down to your distributors and rally around returnable Steinies. You might find it your favorite way to pour on the iron.
Well, the Bucks went down 1-2-3 in the first inning against Don Gullit. Jerry Royce will face Rose, Morgan, and Bench, 3 solid sticks in the first inning. The Pirates defensively have sagged in behind the plate. Hebner's at third, Tavares at short. Stannard at second, Willie Stargell at first base. Zisk is in left field, fighting the sun out there. Al Oliver in center, and Dave Parker in right field. Royce, of course, the pitcher. He beat the Reds 2-1 in Pittsburgh on June the 4th. He had to leave the game. A line drive off the bat of Concepcion hit him on the leg. But Justin Hernandez closed it out. He beat them 9-2 here in a complete game outing on June the 9th. And on the 24th of August, he beat the Pirates and beat the Reds in Pittsburgh. A complete game outing 5-1. The only loss came in this ballpark on the 14th of August when the Reds beat him 6-1. George Foster hitting a pair of home runs. Now Rose steps in, getting a big hand. He had a whale of a season. Hit 317, 210 hits, 7 home runs. He drove in 74. And here's the opening pitch by Jerry Royce. Fastball up high, ball 1. Rose is 34 years of age, and he came up in 1963. 13 years in the major leagues and a lifetime batting average of .309. One of the game's great ball players and great competitors. He's batting right-handed. He pitches up high, ball 2. Royce trying to get comfortable, kicking some dirt away from in front of the pitching rubber. The 2-0 pitch. He's into the strike. Royce's ability this year has been one of throwing strikes, not just with the fastball, but the slider and the curveball. The 2-1 pitch to Rose. He is in there, strike 2, good fastball. Rose didn't have a whole lot of success this year against the Pirates, hitting just .217. He drove in 4 runs, drew 6 walks, however. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Jerry Royce to Pete Rose. Topping ball back to the mound. Royce, an easy play. He's got him at first base. Now Jerry, falling behind 2-0, came right back to get Rose. Rose got to be a tough guy to pitch to, Bobby. He makes you throw strikes.
Yes, he does. He's very conscious of the strike zone, and you can put the bat on the ball. He doesn't strike out a lot. You have to throw him strikes. He'll wait for the walk to get on base, knowing who he has, the hitters he has following him.
Speaking about a guy that knows the strike zone, I guess this guy knows it as well as anybody. Impatient Joe Morgan. He threw 132 walks this year. And that's an all-time Cincinnati record. He wound up hitting .327 and talking to everybody. I guess he's going to be the National League MVP this year. At least that's the talk you hear with the writers who make those selections. Fastball taken, strike one. He hit .333 against the Bucks, but his strong suit, of course, he's a great offensive ball player. Good power, 17 home runs, drove in 94, stole 67 bases. He's just a complete player. Curve right there, strike two. Well, Jerry broke off a beautiful curveball that time. And you can get out in front of Joe Morgan 0-2. You've done something. No score. Reds at bat in the first inning. Pirates went down 1-2-3. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Morgan. Up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Royce at 6'5", 210, 215 pounds, 26 years of age. Good, strong power pitcher. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing, and he didn't get the strike. Pretty good pitch that time. A little bit of noise in the Pirate dugout. Pretty hard to get a strike above the belt in this league, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Elliot. Anything, I think, maybe 2 or 3 inches above the belt, you may get once a week.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Check swing, or a weakly hit ball anyway. It looked like he wanted to stop swing, couldn't do it, fouled it out of play. And the count is 2-2. Boston beat Oakland 7-1 in the American League playoff ball game at Fenway Park. Louis Tiant all the way, and a 3-hitter. He struck out 9. The 2-2 pitch to Morgan. Swing, strike 3. Did he go around? They wanted a field play at third base, and the umpire says no, he didn't go around. I got to tell you, he took a pretty good cut at that ball.
I'm glad he didn't hit it.
Third base umpire is Billy Williams. And Royce now has gone full 3-2. Bench waiting on deck. Royce needs his strike. The pitch. He lost it. Well, he had him no balls and 2 strikes and wound up walking him. And Royce asking Kibler where that pitch was. Is it low or high or what? He didn't like the call at all. Skinner arguing too on the pitch. He wanted to know where the pitch was. Was it too low? You remember John Kibler in the World Series, Bob Moose, and I think Herzog does too.
They're not real fond memories that I have of that game.
Well, they've got a guy at first base that likes to run, and he'll be going. He has stolen 67 bases, been caught stealing, just can't the crowd comes alive. And this is something the Pirates didn't want to have happen. So look at first, the pitch. Swing and a foul, back out of play, strike 1. There's no doubt that your concentration is spoiled a bit when you get a guy like Joe Morgan at first base. And you're limited, I guess, to your selection of pitches, Bob.
You're conscious of them. You want to give your catcher a shot of throwing a guy out, and you don't want to be trying to jam the hitters up and making it harder for him to throw over a bat. It makes you very conscious on the placement of your pitches.
Morgan at first. He's going. Ball is hit foul, back out of play, and the count is 0-2. He had the big jump. The bench was swinging away. Now Royce is throwing strikes here. Bench on the year hit .283, 28 home runs. That was high for the Reds. 110 RBIs, also high. He just one ahead of Tony Perez, who's waiting on deck. But against the Bucks, hit .250, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. He's only 27 years of age, Bench. This is his 8th year in the major leagues, his 11th year in baseball. Morgan at first. The throw over by Royce. He's back in time. The ball gets away from Stargell. And not far enough to make any advance. People probably wondering how Stargell would miss that toss, but Royce is throwing. That is some bright sunlight behind third base and some white shirts, and it's tough to pick up the ball. The shadows deepening the home plate area, kind of getting some sun now. Fastball down low. Might have been the slider. The count of 1-2. The shadow from the roof covering the infield, but the sunlight now coming between the roof and the seating portion of the stands. Just about a 5-foot area and some sunlight sprinkling the home plate area. So look at first base. Morgan back in time. The throw over there by Royce. No score. The Reds' first inning, 1 down. Morgan at first base, and a count of 1-2 on Johnny Bench. So look at first. The pitch, the runner goes. The ball is fouled again back into the screen, and the count holds at 1-2, and Morgan for the 3rd time. Stealing, has to come back. Morgan had been hitting 3rd in the Reds lineup during the regular season, but into the playoff. They moved him into number 2 and put Bench in that number 3 slot. '72 series, championship playoff series. Morgan had a bruised heel, but he's healthy now. Count of 1 and 2 on Bench. The runner goes again, swing and a miss. The throw to second base. He is safe at second base. And Bench, I think, swung and missed. They wanted a field play first. They said, no, he didn't go around. This umpiring here is, I'll be quite honest with you, atrocious right now. Bench swung and missed at that pitch. And the first base umpire says, no, he didn't go around. That's the second one that's occurred like that on Morgan and now on Johnny Bench. They got 6 umpires here, and they might try to find 8. Bench swung and missed. There's no doubt about it at all. But there certainly is in the mind of Andy Olson and home-plate umpire John Kibler. Well, they've got a runner at second base. The pitch. Fly ball, the left field, just spotting the sun. He can't make the play. Yes, he does. A miraculous grab, and he took a base hit away from Bench. What a play by Richie Zisk. That had double written all over it. That's the toughest play for the left fielder to make in this wicked sun field. A line drive shot, and Zisk was trying to pick it up. How he found it, I don't know, and how he caught it is even a bigger question mark, but he sure did. A fine grab by Zisk in left field, saving extra bases, and more important, a run. A runner at second base, and Morgan still holding, and Perez the batter, hitting at .283, 20 home runs, 2 of them off Pirate pitching. He drove in 109 on the year, and he's been carrying a hot bat. The pitch by Royce, swing and a miss, and he blistered a fastball right by him. Strike 1. I'll tell you, Perez looked like he was on top of that pitch, Bobby.
I think he was, might have been geared for the fastball that time.
He sure was looking. Morgan at second base. Bobby Moose sitting alongside of us. No score. Royce in trouble a bit here with the runner at second base. And tough to Tony Perez up. Ground ball, foul off his foot. Royce that time looked like he jammed him with a slider. And a count of 0-2. Pitching guys like this, Bobby, with a slider, you got to make sure you're right in tight, don't you?
You can't make a mistake and let it out over the plate. You have to get it in bad off the plate and hope they swing at it for the strike. And don't worry about it if they're going to call the ball, because you have to get it in. You can't make a mistake out over the plate.
2 down. Morgan still at second base, and a fine fielding play by Richie Zisk in left field, preventing a run from scoring. The 0-2 pitch. Pop foul, and I believe out of play. It is. First base second. Well, there'd have been some second guessing had that ball by Bench been a base hit following what looked like a strikeout to everybody else but Kibler and Andy Olson. Count is 0-2. The pitch to Perez, bounced off the right side, sent it way to his left, makes the play. He's got him at first base, and Royce gets out. Ballpark office open until 6 p.m. World Series tickets will be available Sunday on sale at Three Rivers at the advanced sale window under Gate A from 1 o'clock till 6 p.m. General admission tickets, by the way, are $3 for adults, $2 for children 16 and under. They're available for all 3 games, and some reserve seats at $5 available for games 4 and also game 5. Stargell leads off the second inning against Don Gullett. He takes a curve, and it's taken, strike 1. Kibler called that a strike, and it bounced under the glove of the catcher, Johnny Bench, and Stargell looks up at the scoreboard, and he's questioning the call again. The feeling they're believing Kibler's missing a whale of a ball game.
I think the umpires take more pressure than we do.
Ground ball, hit weakly to second base, and Morgan will make the play at first. Stargell doesn't have much to say. Well, he's kind of a quiet guy, but when he just looks back, there seems to be a message.
When he looks back, it's usually a bad call, but I think he knows the strike zone real well. That's why you never see him arguing. If he takes a pitch that he knows the strike, he just walks away. But if he looks back, there's something wrong.
NLCS steps in. His fielding play has kept this ball game a scoreless contest. Richie hit at 290, 20 home runs, 75 RBIs. First ball hitting, fouls, back out of play, strike one. He had a good swing that time. After the Bucks got off that horrible road trip, the 19th of August, from that time on, Zisk hit 368 to close out the season, hitting at 290. And Gullett's in with the strike. Count of 0-2. He had 20 home runs this year, career high for him. And he led the club with 12 game-winning RBIs. Pitch up high by Gullett. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's a lifetime Major League batting average of .303. He was the most productive part against the Reds. He hit 4 home runs off Red Leg pitching. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A curveball hung outside from Gullett. Gullett is not a good breaking ball pitcher, is he?
No, I think he's primarily what you call a power pitcher. He's going to go with his fastball.
And he's got a fork ball, I believe, he throws for a changeup now.
Yes, but I don't think he's going to really be relying on today. I think he's going to just be strictly power today.
The 2-2 pitch is this. Line foul, and not line foul, but pop foul, back out of play. The shadow's getting me here. That ball looked like it was lined down the left field line. It came right back off the top of the bat behind home plate. Sunlight now right on the home plate area, right on the top of this batting helmet. The rest of the portion in shadow. Fastball away, and the count to full, 3-2. This, the batter with 1 down in the Pirates' second inning, no score. Red Sox beat Oakland 7-1. Here's a 3-2 pitch by Gullett. Foul, back out of play, and the count holds full, 3-2. Parker waiting on deck. Big Dave Parker. Pirates hit 138 home runs this year to lead the National League. 16 against Cincinnati pitching. The windup and the payoff pitch to Zisk. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip, 12 by Frank. That's the second strikeout by Don Gullett. Gullett moving along. He's retired 5 in a row, and that'll bring up Dave Parker. Led the National League in slugging percentage with a .541 percentage. Had 35 doubles. He was tied for was second in the league in triples with 10, and he was 5th in the league with home runs, 25, 70 extra base hits of his 172 hits. Penn State beat Kentucky in a very tight ball game, 10-3. Here's a pitch by Gullett to Dave Parker. Swings and misses, strike 1, and he just whooshed that one right by him. Parker saying that his swing got a bit nappy toward the end of the season, and he just didn't like the way he's swinging the bat the last couple of weeks. Boy, he sure carried this ball club most of the year. Fastball inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. You talk about good young ball players. Stemich 24, Parker 24, and both of them outstanding athletes. Reds starting to show a bit of age in their lineup. The 1-1 pitch. Strike right there. The count is 1-2, and Gullett continuing to pitch masterfully here. Shadows creeping along the third baseline. Rose now in the shadows. Parker hit with a pitch, and he'll go down to first base. Yeah, the fastball by Gullett came tight on Parker. They tried to pitch him tight, but they got too tight that time. He was hit in the rib cage. He'll go down to first base. Here the Bucks get their first base runner. That'll bring up Richie Hebner, hitting at .246 on the year, 15 home runs, driven in 57. He's had an off season, but Bob, watching him in batting practice, and maybe that doesn't say a whole lot, but he's starting to hit the ball for distance now. That's something he hadn't been doing.
He's starting to get his stroke down. He was lunging at the ball and not making good contact on the ball. I think now within the last week and a half, just a week of workouts we had, he's been hitting the ball a lot more solidly.
Fastball from Gullett down low, and he's working from the stretch for the first time. That's always a bit of a problem, the first couple of pitches, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Neil. You get into a groove of throwing from the regular straight windup, and then you have to go into the stretch, and it's going to take you maybe 1 or 2 pitches to get accustomed to it, maybe just for the first hitter.
Big thing, trying to throw strikes from that position, get something on. Parker at first, 2 down, no score. Pirates second. Fly ball, right center field. There's a base hit into the gap. Make it through. It does, no, it's picked off by Griffey. They're going to wave Parker on. There's a play at the plate. Here's a throw. He is safe. The Pirates lead 1-0 on a double by Richie Hebner to right center field. And the speed of Parker made it happen. The play was pulled off very effectively by Griffey. He prevented the ball from getting through. He hit the cutoff man, Joe Morgan, but the throw did not have enough steam on it, and Parker beat the play at the plate. And the Pirates with a 2-out Lightning here. Parker hit by a pitch and a quick double by Richie Hebner, and Bob Moose, we were talking about Hebner, and looks like he's got the stroke.
Yeah, I think he has a stroke back now. He has a double now. He's going to be hitting the ball. I think he's made more contact recently than he has in, I would say, maybe the last 2.5, 3 weeks of the season.
Now Tavares will step in. Well, there's a guy that everybody was on earlier in the season, but down the stretch when you had to have shortstop play and get some hitting, he gave it to him. This guy had 6 game-winning hits for a guy that hit 212.
He seems to come through. I don't know how sometimes the way he stands in there. He looks very unorthodox, but I think he's cut down on the strikeouts this year and trying to make some contact and just put the ball in play. But he has good speed going down the first base line.
He swung and missed on the first pitch. Pirates lead 1-0. Some 2-out Lightning here. Hebner at second. Tavares takes a pitch down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hebner had a good series in the championship series in 1971 against the San Francisco Giants, as did the redhead Bob Robertson, who kind of dominated that series. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Foul, back out of play, and Tavares had a good swing at a high fastball that time. Now, very quickly after the Reds made a bit of a threat in the first inning, and the Pirates 2 down and nobody on, very quickly the Bucks pick up the tally. Gully with a count of 1-2 on Tavares. And he pops him up, and I believe playable off the first base side. Bench, no, it's out of play. Not a whole lot of room to chase foul balls here in this ballpark. Narrows down the left and right field line. And some 60 feet from the left field wall. There's not much more than 3 feet or so. Maybe more than that. I guess about 6 feet between the foul line and the wall. But the fans in this ballpark right on top of the action. Hebner at second, 2 down, 1-0 Pirate lead. The pitch to Tavares, looping ball into center, left center field, a base hit. Hebner's coming around third. He'll score, and the Pirates lead 2-0. Now you talk about the bottom of the lineup coming through, and Tavares, Bob Moose does it again with a looping single into left center field. Gullett looks over at him and says, "Hey, you're not supposed to hit like that."
All he has to do is make the contact. Everybody's moving.
No, the Bucks very quickly break through against Don Gullett. They lead 2-0, and Royce will be the batter. This is something I think the Pirates wanted to have happen, to get out in front of the Reds to take some of their running away, maybe, Bob Moose.
It has to slow them down. It has to keep them a little bit tighter to the base if they slow them down a little bit. Just hold them a little bit tighter.
Here's a pitch to Royce, swinging and a miss, strike 1. All of this occurring with 2 down and nobody on base. A hit batsman, a double and a single, 2-0 Pirate lead. Royce swings and misses, strike 2. Tavares at first base. With Royce up, not much of a threat to run. Count of 0-2. High fly to left center field. Rather deep, drifting back as Foster. Still going, and he makes the grab on the warning track in deep left center field. That ball was well hit by Royce and almost misplayed by Foster, who didn't think he was going to hit it that far. Well, the Pirates come through with a big inning, scoring 2 runs after 2 are out, nobody on base, on 2 hits, no errors, and stranding 1. And we'll go to the second inning. Pirates leading 2-0.
You know, when you think about beer in returnable bottles, not everybody thinks of the same thing. Some people think of taste, that beer tastes a little better out of a bottle. Others think of economy, that beer costs less in returnable bottles. Now, as far as the taste goes, well, that is a matter of taste. But the economy is a matter of fact. And when you get a case of Iron City beer in 7, 12, or 16-ounce returnable bottles, you are really getting a great buy. Because the deposit you pay on your first case of Iron City returnables goes toward your next case when you bring back the empties. And every case after that, too. just as long as you bring the empties back to your distributor. You get great taste, certainly, but that's more the beer than the bottle. Iron City beer is specially brewed to give you rich, rewarding, robust flavor, no matter how you buy it. So buy it in returnable bottles. And, my friends, when you do that, you get economy too. Start now. Rally around returnables. Pour on the iron.
George Foster leads off the second inning. He'll be followed by Dave Concepcion and Ken Griffey. And Jerry Royce now finds himself with a 2-0 lead here against the Redlegs into the second inning. Boston beat Oakland 7-1 on a 3-hitter by Louis Tiant. He'll play again tomorrow in Fenway Park. Vida Blue, I believe, and Reggie Cleveland slated to go there. And as Radio Rich informs, Tiant struck out 9 in a very big performance. Reminder again, some football scores. Penn State beat Kentucky 10-3, and Pitt knocked off Duke 14-0. Tickets available for games number 3, 4, and 5 of the championship series in Pittsburgh. Ticket office still open. It'll be open for another hour and 15 minutes down at Three Rivers if you're driving around, and also at G.C. Murphy's downtown until 9 o'clock tonight. Some general admission tickets still available for the number 3 ball game. That'll be Tuesday night, and some reserved and general admission tickets available for Wednesday's night game and also Thursday's day game if they're necessary. Foster hit 2 home runs off Royce the last time we were in town here. He hit the 23 on the season. The pitch by Royce is up high, ball 1. The shadows now directly between the mound is in shadows, home plate is in shadows, but there's a slither of sunshine right between the mound and home plate. That's what makes it difficult right now to pick up the ball if you're a hitter. Fastball outside, ball 2. The odd starting time of 4 o'clock in the afternoon for national television commitments. The 2-0 pitch to Foster. Swing and a miss, strike 1. When Pete Rose was asked to play third base, it made the Reds a championship ball club without any doubt. They were going to win it, I believe, anyway, but it made them an awesome attack because it gave this guy the opportunity to play every day in left field, and it tightened them up defensively with Rose a regular third and Foster a regular in left field. They won 108 games. Foul back out of play as Royce got in tight that time. And the count is 2-2. Here's a halftime score. West Virginia in the top 20 ratings, leading SMU at the half 14-10. 2-0 Pirate lead, second inning. Leadoff batter Foster. And the count of 2-2 on him. Here's a pitch by Royce. Line drive, left field to base hit. Reds come right back with a line drive off the bat of Foster. A single. That'll bring up the shortstop, Dave Concepcion. He missed most of the season when the Pirates played them. He only played in 5 games of the 12 that the Bucks played with them, and hit .214. But he and the guy on deck, Griffey, and also Joe Morgan, are the fellas that like their own when they get on the base paths. Time call. First base umpire, Eddie Olson, asking for time. Now we're set to go. Concepcion hit .276, and he's regarded the premier shortstop in this game. Right-handed batter takes a curveball for a strike. Hit 5 home runs, drove in 49. This guy has become physically a strong ball player, Bobby. A couple of years ago, kind of spindly.
Yes, he was. A couple of years ago, you could almost knock the bat out of his hands. Not anymore. I think he's got a little bit broader shoulder and everything, got a little bit stronger.
Here's a pitch to Concepcion. Foul on a breaking ball into the crowd, third base side. And the count is 0-2. Hired Wives are, I believe, over along the third base side. Unable to locate them in the Loads level, I believe they are. Count of 0-2 on Concepcion. Fastball in on him, backs him off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. count 1-2. Swing and a foul as he was jammed with a slider that ran in on the fist in the count holes at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Race this year, Bobby Moose is throwing the ball harder. Last year he kind of finessed a little bit.
Yeah, I think this year he finally decided he's going to go out and just be a power pitcher. He's big enough and he throws hard enough to be a power pitcher, and disregarded some of his finesse and had an outstanding year with just his fastball and a good hard breaking ball.
Foster at first. He's going. The pitch is foul, back out of play, and the Reds are going. And they had a big jump that time on Royce. Foster not that much of a threat to run. He hasn't stolen that many bases. But the Reds with Concepcion up there, figuring he wouldn't strike out and maybe find a gap someplace and get something going. Royce checking Foster, not much of a lead. The pitch to Concepcion up high, gets away from Sankey, and the ball is dropped. Boone Foster moves on into second base. He's safe. That'll be a pass ball, chance to Manny Sankey. Sankey just dropped the pitch, and it bounced out in front of the plate, and Foster took advantage of it and moved on into second base. So the double play possibility is gone. Reds get a runner in the scoring position. Nobody out, and the count is 2-2. And Concepcion, 2-0 Pirates lead, second inning. Curve is just inside. He thought he had strike 3, and Royce didn't get that one either. And he angrily grabs at the ball. And the count is full, 3-2. Griffey, the on-deck hitter. The bottom part of the Bucks lineup hurt Gillett, and the Reds trying to do the same thing here. He lost him, ball 4. Royce getting himself into trouble here. A single and a walk. Royce asking where that pitch was, and Sankey in 2, and Kibler says they are inside.
Those are pitches, Nelly, that when you're out there pitching, you got a guy in second, nobody out. Those are pitches that you have to get. If they're close enough, you have to get him to get yourself in charge of the game again.
Well, he didn't get them, and he's in trouble. The Reds have runners at first and second. Nobody out. Ken Griffey, the batter. Geronimo waiting on deck. And Royce now has got to do some pitching. Pirates up for a possible bunch. Stargell at first and Hebner at third, likewise, both up. He's a tough guy to double up. A look at second base. The pitch, he's not bunting, and it's down low, ball 1. Sanguin and Royce questioning that call, time call. This can be a frustrating thing for a pitcher to maintain your poise and not let this bother you, but I imagine it has to.
It's very hard, Nelly. I mean, you're out there and you're doing everything you can to...
For a pitcher to maintain your poise and not let this bother you, but I imagine it has to.
It's very hard, Nelly. I mean, you're out there and you're doing everything you can to get ahead of somebody, and you throw a pitch which you think is close enough to the strike zone, or even catching some of the plate, and then you get a call to ball, and it puts you behind and gets you in a hole.
Well, Royce becoming a bit concerned about things. The count of 1-0. He's outside, ball 2. And he is now struggling. Tony Boudreau feeling a bit anxious. He's up and walking around.
Tony might get through about 7 sweatshirts this game.
Well, Jerry Royce has got to find a strike here someplace. A look at second base. And no pickout play. Foster back in time. Griffey wound up hitting at 305 on the air. The count of 2-0. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That's the toughest thing about pitching. When you start missing and you've got to throw strikes. Nothing happens till you throw one. Runners lead, first and second. Nobody out, Reds second inning. Strike right on the corner, taken, strike 2. Griffey caught looking. Royce come back and pick up a strikeout here. It'd be a very big out. Griffey had 38 infield hits this year. He has amazing speed. The count 2-2. Foul back onto the screen. He stays alive. And the Shadows now moving out toward the outfield, and the sunlight interspersed between the shadow, now moving across the front of the mound. Roy's still in shadows, and the batter's still in shadows. Got a bit of sunlight between them both. Nobody out in the Reds' second inning, but the Pirates leading 2-0. Runners lead from first and second. The pitch to Griffey, up high, ball 2. And the count is full, 3-2. And Royce now has to come through with a strike. Foster's at second base. Concepcion is at first. Left-handed hitting Griffey against the left-handed Rice, and waiting on deck, left-handed hitting Cesar Geronimo. Here's a payoff pitch. Foul back onto the screen. The runner's not going. There was a big Pirate sign up, but it had, the sign said, hit one up here, Willie, way up in about the fourth deck, but that's no longer there. I guess it was so big it was blocking out the view of everybody. It was a king-size bedsheet. Willie said it cost me $40 for that. Here's a payoff pitch to Griffey. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And holding at second base is Foster. The ball dropped by Sanguine. Griffey's a strikeout victim. And a big strikeout. Geronimo, who hit 6 home runs, but 2 of them came off Pirate pitching, will be the batter. He wound up with 53 RBIs, and on the season hit 257. Had 25 doubles this year, a career high, but regarded, I guess, as the best center fielder in the game. Maybe Cedeno might be ahead of him, but a very consistent ball player, Geronimo. Pickoff play at second. Foster dives back in time, no play. Royce wisely not throwing. You don't have to throw the ball. There's not much sense in throwing, Bob Miss.
If you throw it and don't in your mind know that you have about a 95% chance of getting the guy, just hold it, because if you throw it, too many things can happen to it.
Runners at first and second. Pirates back for 2 now. Here's a pitch to Geronimo. He's down low. Ball 1. Gullett waits on deck. Royce took a peek on deck to see who was sitting there, and he glanced right into the eyes of Don Gullett. Gullett not a bad hitting pitcher. The 1-0 pitch. Curve is up high. Ball 2, and he asked where was that pitch. Royce is really perplexed now and arguing with home plate umpire John Kibler. He hasn't seemingly gotten a pitch that he wanted yet.
I don't think, you never see Jerry even question the umpire. Maybe 1 or 2 times the whole game. I think he's done it about 4 or 5 times just this inning.
Kibler's getting some flack from the Pirate dugout. Looking over there. Royce now doing some meditating, has gone off the mound to rev up a new baseball. But he's behind 2-0 on Geronimo. He's walked one, given up a single in this inning. The 2-0 pitch. Foul back out of play. Strike 1. Bucks get 2 in the second inning after 2 are out, nobody on base. Parker was hit by a pitch. Hebner doubled him home, and then Tavares singled home Hebner. The Reds haven't scored, but they're threatening here in the second inning. The 2-1 pitch to Geronimo. He is right there, strike 2. Royce this year won 18 ball games. Last year won 16 in a good trade for the Bucks, sending Milt May down to Houston. They got a guy that has gone every 5 days, never misses a turn. A look at second. Foster leads. The 2-2 pitch to Geronimo. Fouled out of play on a curveball. Count holds 2-2. The entire infield now is in the shadows, with the exception of that ray of sunlight that filters through from the upper deck. Royce checking up Foster at second base. The 2-2 pitch. Foul back onto the screen. And the count holds 2-2. Leo for station identification. We'll grab it here shortly. He's being very determined here and taking his time. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball line to left field. Ziz going over. Can he make the play? He does. A good running catch by Ziz. And he again had to sort his way through the brilliant sunshine here to make a backhanded grab of the ball going toward the line in left field. And that's the most difficult part of the sun field. A great catch again by Ziz down the left field line.
That's a ball right there. The second one today that Richie's had, he don't pick up the ball until it's about halfway through the infield, and it's very hard for him to move over.
That was a bad pitch by Royce. He got away with a hanging curveball.
Yes, he did. Anytime you can get somebody to fly out or something on a hanger, you're going to have some good luck.
You got to give Geronimo credit. He went to left field with that pitch instead of trying to pull it and almost got himself a base hit. Gullett, the batter, takes the pitch down. Low ball one. Royce now contends with sunshine. As he starts to pitch, the sun hits him full flush in the eyes when he comes to the plate, and that's a difficult thing now to try and pick up the batter. It doesn't affect a right-handed pitcher, but it does a left-hander in these situations. Well, look at second base. Here's the pitch. Ground ball weakly in the hole in left field, and it's through for the base hit. One to the score, and the Reds get on the board. 2-1 the Pirates lead. Not a well-hit ball at all. It was hit off the fifth, and just got by the diving Frank Tavares in the left field. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirates Baseball Network.
Babushka Power, GBA Pittsburgh.
Well, the Reds get on the board with a weakly hit single by Don Gullett, who just found the hole between third and short, and the Reds are really alive now. At the top of the lineup, Pete Rose in. He drove in 74 runs this year in the leadoff spot. The tying run at second. Slider inside, ball one, and the Pirates have activity with Ken Brett, a left-hander, Larry Demery, a right-hander throwing. Pirates bullpen down the left field line. Well, that was a big hit by Don Gullett. The pitch. Ground ball, right side, and Stinnett makes the play at first base. He retires Rose, and the Reds pick up one run on a couple of hits, a walk, no errors in strand two. Well, we've completed two, and the Pirates lead 2-1.
You've probably been hearing a lot lately about light beer. You know, the ones that are less filling, have less calories, and less carbohydrates. It's a good idea, especially for those of us who have to watch these things. The problem is, if you've tried a light beer, you've probably found something else missing besides calories and carbohydrates. Taste. Unless, of course, you've tried a Mark V. Now there's a light beer for you. It's less filling, has 1/3 the calories of regular beer, and a lot less carbohydrates. But the big difference is rich, sparkling, honest-to-goodness beer flavor. And after all, that's why you drink beer in the first place. So if you want to drink a light beer, why not drink a light beer that tastes like beer? Mark V. It's at your distributors now. Pick up a case. Mark V, the light beer that tastes like beer.
Well, the Bucks are at the top of the lineup in the third inning. 2-1 ball game. The Pirates out in front. Stinnett, Sagdian, and Oliver will take their second look at Don Gullett, who is drenched in kind of a spotlight of sunshine right on the mound, and that sun popping him right in the eyes as he comes forward. Pretty soon, that will be all a thing of the past, and it'll drift out farther into the playing field and around second base. But it no longer seems to be of any importance to the hitters now. It has gone, the sunshine portion has gone behind the mound. Gullett's base hit, a big one for Cincinnati and a tough one for Royce. He hit him on the fist with the ball, but just hit weakly enough to get in past Hebner and also past the diving Frank Tavares. Stannett struck out in the first inning. Gullett's pitch to him is in the dirt on a curveball. Ball one. Kind of a pleasant afternoon in the sunshine, but the shadows a bit cooler. Foul out of play by Rennie. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is the kind of weather I guess you're used to seeing when you have a World Series competition in this kind of atmosphere, and it seems to be fitting for it. Fastball way up high, got away from Gullett. 2 balls and a strike. Gullett, I guess, one of the best high school football players in the state of Kentucky back around 1969 or 70, but he chose baseball. 2-1 pitch. Looper off the fist, it's foul. Out of play. Strike 2. Rennie Stennett's had a whale of a season. Kind of a so-so first half, but the second half of the year, he has carried a hot bat. And I guess the guy that gives you 90 feet every time he goes to first base. The 2-2 pitch. Chopping ball hit weakly off the first base side, and Gullett will take it unassisted. Fine play by Gullett. Hey, that's a tough play for the pitcher to make, and we're talking about a good athlete. Gullett is that, and he went way off the first base side on a high hit ground ball, a high hopping ball, and took the play unassisted. He's the only guy that could have made the play, and he made it. Didn't see too many of those plays back in the old days when there was grass, did you, Bob?
They didn't bounce that high, Nelly, and it's a play now. I think a pitcher, that's why it's the main thing for a pitcher to be able to fill his position to get over, because if anybody but Gullett fills that ball, there's no way you're going to get ready in first.
Sanguin steps in, 2-1, Pirates lead, third inning. And this game kind of feels like both pitchers are sitting on powder kegs trying to keep it from blowing up in their face. Sanguin fly to center field. And he pops one up, foul, out of play, first base side, strike 1. And he had his best hitting year, batting at .328. Drew over 40 walks on the season. Make it 48, actually, 15 the intentional walks. He was hitting in front of Tavares most of the season. Chopping ball to second base, an easy play for Morgan. And Sanguin goes out, second to fifth. 2 up, 2 down in the Pirates third, 2-1 Pirate lead. Oliver, who tapped back to the mound, actually didn't tap back, hit it sharply to Gullett, who made a good fielding play to end the first inning, to be the batter. Al down a bit from last year's fine .321 average, but his other stats are about equal to what they were before. He was second in the league, tied with Johnny Bench with 39 doubles. Takes the curveball for a strike. Led the ball club in runs scored with 90. Stannett was second with 89. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Gullett. Foul out of play. Strike 2. Boston beat Oakland 7-1 in the other championship playoff series game in the American League. Louis Tion on a 3-hitter struck out 9 all the way for the win. Ground ball to first base, and Perez will shovel on to Gullett. Pirates go down 1-2 third inning. And we'll go to the Reds third. Pirates 2, Cincinnati 1.
You know, my friends, even if you're not the one who does the food shopping in your house, you're probably very familiar with the phrase giant economy size. It means simply that when you buy more, it costs you less. Now, there are giant economy sizes of everything from soap to cereal. But did you know that there's a giant economy size in beer, too? Well, there is. Iron City Beer in big, economical 16-ounce returnable bottles. A case of 16-ounce returnable bottles of Iron City Beer gives you 1/3 more beer, but is nowhere near 1/3 more expensive. Ounce per ounce, a case of 16-ounce returnable bottles is just about the best beer buy you can find. And when it's Iron City, well, my friends, you just know that every ounce, every swallow packs the best beer pleasure you can find. Ice cold, there's a richness, a heartiness to Iron City, a real robust flavor that is unmistakably great beer. And in 16-ounce returnable bottles, it's a great buy, too. So rally around returnables, and hey, pour on the iron.
A jam-packed house at Riverfront Stadium. Complete sellout for this one and tomorrow's ball game. There are still some tickets available. Some general admission for the third game of this series, the first night game in championship playoff history. Tuesday night at Three Rivers. And the ticket office at the ballpark open till 6 o'clock this afternoon. And G.C. Murphy's downtown open till 9 o'clock tonight. If you're in that area, well, you might stop by and pick up some tickets. Some box seats still available for the Tuesday night and also Thursday afternoon ball games if they're necessary. Port Authority, by the way, express bus service will operate 30 minutes later than the times indicated on the Port Authority schedule for an 8:05 ball game. The stadium shuttle service from downtown begins at Pacific Arena at 6:30 and from the Hilton at 7 o'clock on Tuesday and Wednesday of this coming week. Morgan leads off the third inning. He walked in the first inning. He takes a pitch up high for a ball. Royce back again with one. Swing and a miss by Morgan. Strike one. Morgan stole second in that first inning. You talk about trading and picking up a big ball player. The Reds did it when they got this guy. Strike on the inside corner. Morgan looks at strike two. Without a doubt, the trade that made the Reds the championship ball club they are. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Curveball low, and the count is 2-2. His on-base percentage last year almost 500%, about 480, counting walks and hits. Pitch up high, ball three. Now Royce goes to a full count of 3-2. He had Morgan no balls and 2 strikes the first time he was up. He had him 1-2 here, and he's gone now full 3-2. Bench is on deck, and Perez waiting in the hole. The pitch. He is inside, ball four. He lost him. Jerry's going to have his problem. His third walk, and you can't keep walking guys like Joe Morgan and not get hurt. He got away with it in the first inning, but very quickly Morgan's going to be sitting on second base. He's only been caught stealing 10 times. He has 68 steals. You get a hitter up like that, and you say, I'm not going to walk this guy, and that's generally what you wind up doing, Bob Miss.
That happens so many times now. You're trying to throw the ball. You're trying to be too fine with it to make him hit the ball somewhere.
Well, the crowd will come alive with Morgan at first, and he got a very big lead. Royce goes over, and back in time, he almost threw the ball away. 2-1, or Pirates lead. Bench line to left field, and just made a great catch of the ball to prevent it from being a double and scoring a run. Runner goes, the pitch is up high, and Sanguine dropped the pitch. He never caught it at all. Sanguine really having trouble behind the plate. He had a pass ball in the second inning. This pitch was right up at his eyes, and somehow he didn't see it. Background or something must be difficult here, but Sanguine just looked like he boxed that one up and never saw the pitch.
I think the ball's coming out of so much sunlight coming from center field and right behind the mound. It's going to make it a little tough on Sanguine. Also makes it a little tough on the hitter.
Well, the Reds have a runner in scoring position with nobody out here. That's the tying run. That's the stolen base. No pass ball. The pitch to Bench. The runner goes to third, throw to third base, and Morgan safe there. Morgan had the chance to steal, and he took it. The Reds will do it, and they're doing their game right now. Morgan making things happen. I don't know what the record is for stolen bases in a championship series, but Joe Morgan stands a good chance of setting it here, because he loves to run. He's at third base. Nobody out. The tying run there. Now, on a sacrifice fly, will tie this game up. And a tough guy up in Bench, and the count is 2-0 on him. He is 3-0. Gary really has not settled down at any time so far in this ballgame. We're going to get some throwing in the Pirate bullpen. The 3-0 pitch. He lost him, ball four, and Sanguine dropped the ball again. Four walks, 2 in this inning. Perez, the batter, will play back to give up a run. Try to get 2. Osborne's coming out. He wants to talk things over with Royce. And Sanguine and Stargell will join the conversation too. All this is just to give the Pirate bullpen a chance to get loose. Royce really not comfortable at all so far, Bob.
I think he's had some bad calls from the home plate umpire, and now he's I think trying to do everything on his own, trying to be a little bit too fine and throwing the ball.
Overthrowing it, huh?
Overthrowing, trying to throw too much onto him, just throwing it right out of the strike zone.
Well, Don Osborne asked to try and settle him down. Starcher usually has some rather loosening comments to make at times like this, but Willie didn't spend too much time out there. 2-1, the Pirates lead, but the lead a precarious one here, with Morgan, who walks, stole second and third at third base, Bench at first, and the batter is Perez, who bounced out to Stennett in the first inning. We're back. We'll give up a run to get a double play here. Crowd really alive. Nobody out. Third inning. Inside, ball one. Pitch. Fly ball, center field, a base hit. One run is in it. Bench is going to come to second. He'll hold there. The throw in. He's just back in time. Safely. Try again. 2-2. Nobody out. Runners at first and second, and Foster will do the batter. No doubt that Royce's big problem has been his own of control and wildness. Walking Morgan twice, and you open up a bag of fish that you don't want to open up. Still nobody out. See how the Reds played here with Foster the batter. Bench at second, Perez at first. The pitch into the corner, taking strike one right at the knee. Foster hit 2 home runs out five pitching, and both coming in one game, and both of them off Jerry Royce. 2-2 the score. The pitch up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Demery and Brett again loosening in the Pirates bullpen. Foster taking a lot of time, doing some landscaping in the batter's box. The pitch to Foster, just outside, ball 2. Royce has not been ahead of too many batters. When he has gotten ahead, it's been ahead of Joe Morgan, and he's come back and walked him. But it's not been a good performance by Jerry. He just can't seem to get into the flow of the ball game. Well, look at second, the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul, back out of play, fastball way up around the bill of the cap. Foster chased a very bad pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This guy's a pretty good high fastball hitter, though, isn't he?
Yes, he is. You know, if you can get him to foul that pitch off and get your back with an even kind of, it's really a plus on your side with nobody out.
You don't want to keep pitching him here, though.
No, that's not a real wise thing to do.
Bucks are back for 2, and they need one quickly here. Nita Hoover. Bench at second, Perez at first. Nobody out, 2-2 the score. The Reds third inning, and Royce taking too much time. Foster steps out on there. They're set to go. The 2-2 pitch to Foster. Fly ball, the right center field. Parker coming up to make the grab in shallow right center. The runners hold. 2 down, or 1 down rather, and that'll bring up Dave Concepcion. Concepcion walked in the second inning. Royce has given up 3 hits and 4 walks, and the Reds have had 3 stolen bases, all of them by Joe Morgan, and a pass ball 2, but still it's tied 2-2. Concepcion, a right-handed batter, another guy with good speed. The only guys in this lineup that don't run well are Rose, Bench, and Perez. The pitch to Concepcion, foul, back out of play. Fastball was in on him. Strike one. A very long 3 innings of baseball here and still not completely through it. Well over an hour into the ball game already. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball inside and a count 1-1. Tie game 2-2. Pirates back for 2, looking for the double play ball. Pitch down low, and a count of 2-1. He seems to be falling off the third base side an awful lot. He doesn't look like he's gotten his rhythm in golf.
I don't think he has no. I think he's trying to. Like I said before, I think he's trying to overthrow the ball, and he's got himself jerking on his follow through, and it's making his ball either tend to go up on him or stay way down.
2 balls and a strike on Concepcion. 1 down the pitch. He is way inside. Ball 3. Griffey, the on-deck batter. And the way Royce is going here, it's going to be doubtful that they'll go much longer with him. Some concern. Look down to the Pirate bullpen. They're loosening Brad and Demery, and that boy going down, I think, to tell Brett or somebody, or give him something, I believe it is, to tell him he's going to be it with Griffey, the on-deck batter. Now, this possibly could be the last batter for Royce if he didn't get a decision here. The 3-1 pitch. Foul back out of play, and boy, he had a pitch to hit there.
Right there, Neil. It's one of the pitches you can't afford to walk another batter, because in this situation you might be out of the ballgame, and it's a pitch you have to say, here, hit it, and he was just lucky enough to have it fouled off.
Bobby Moose sitting in with us. Bob not eligible for the playoffs here. He's had a great month in September. Then we'll check the runners. Bench at second. Perez at first. See if they might be going with 1 down here. And Concepcion the batter. They're not going. The ball is hit to center field. Right center. Rather deep. Drifting over is Parker. Bench tags, and the throw will go to third base. Here's the throw. It is not in time. Bench moves into third base. 2 down. Concepcion flying to deep right center field. And Griffey will be the batter with runners at first and third. 2 down in the tie game. 2-2. You got to figure if Royce can get through this inning and maybe get his thoughts together, Bob, that he might be able to settle down.
If Jerry can make it through this inning and only giving up just a 1 run after having 1 run scored and nobody out, he may be able to win a dugout and collect himself again and not see what his problem is, just be able to think without being able to have to push himself trying to pitch and think at the same time out there. It gets a little bit tough now, especially in the championship series.
Yeah, I would guess the thoughts go through your mind and they're spinning a bit, and to turn them all off and just get inside yourself and be Jerry Royce again is what you got to do. Here's a pitch to Griffey. Foul back onto the screen. Strike 1. Well, he struck him out in the first inning, or the second inning rather, with runners at first and second and nobody out. Reds have been threatening in every inning. He threatened in the first, got a run in the second inning, and scored 1 here in the third. The 0-1 pitch. Curve hangs high. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Jerry now very inconsistent with that breaking ball. He hung one to Geronimo in the second inning. He hung Edlin, unfortunately, too high, and Griffey didn't offer at it. The count of 1-1. Here's the pitch. Foul back out of play. Strike 2. And the location of pitches, Royce is just annoyed with himself. He's grabbing at the ball. He's not throwing it any place he wants to.
He's not making the pitch he wants to make. I know he didn't want that pitch right there. He wanted. He's made some bad pitches. He walked people. They scored a run this inning on a walk. It's very tough.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Bench at third. Perez at first. 2 down, 2-2 score. Way outside that time. And the count is 2-2.
Come back to show you now the theory that I've always had when I've been pitching. Every time I walk somebody, they find new ways to score. And that's something that happens to pitchers. You walk somebody, they're going to score eventually.
Makes you a defensive pitcher, I guess, doesn't it?
It makes you very defensive.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Griffey. The runner's going. The ball is hit deep in the right center field. It's a base hit. 1 run is in. It may be gone. It is off the wall. Perez will score. And the Reds Well, that's going to be all for Jerry Rice. He will not pitch anymore here this afternoon. He just did not have any coordination or stuff at all today. Just not a Jerry Rice type of ball game. And he was outside himself, trying to throw too hard. He walked for the left-hander hurting him here, Griffey. And had he been able to get out of this tied 2-2, why, it would have been a miracle, and the miracle did not occur. That's all for Rice. He'll take a very early shower. And he's on the hook for the loss. Kenny Britt will come in and try to close the door here. He'll be facing left-handed hitting Cesar Geronimo. The Reds are of the opinion, Bob Moose and Pete Rosted, that the key game for them would be the first game. They would have to beat Jerry Rice and do it rather convincingly because he had beaten them 3 times and he's a Pirates ace, and he figured if they beat him, they'd win the series.
Yes, Nelly, but it's going to come down to the thing. This game's far from over. It's like it's been a long game so far, but it's only the 3rd inning, and the game's going to be a lot longer. I know it's going to take its toll right now on Golic just sitting there. He's going to have to go out and get loose over again. Jerry had the last pitch right there. I think it wasn't a pitch that he wanted to throw. It was a pitch to get up where Griffey could hit the ball. And you can't make pitches like that and win in a game like this.
No, he just didn't throw pitches anywhere. He had no location at all. I don't think he had any pattern of pitches he was throwing or setting hitters up. He was actually just throwing the ball.
When you go out and get behind hitters consistently, inning after inning, and it can maybe only be like for the first 2 innings, and you throw a lot of extra pitches, and if it doesn't wear you down, it's not going to tire you out, but your location is going to get progressively worse and worse just because you're having to push and think on every pitch, and it's going to move you out of the strike zone.
Well, Royce goes just 2 2/3 innings, and he has faced so far 16 batters. He gave up 4 hits, 4 walks, 4 runs. All of them earned. He struck out only 1. The runner at second base, his responsibility, and that is Ken Griffey. A big double for the Denora native. He's at second base. Kenny Brett will face Cesar Geronimo. Brett's record on the year was 9-5, and he appeared in 23 ball games, 16 as a starting pitcher. And this is the kind of pitching you have to get some good, long relief pitching right now, or keep the Cincinnati Ball Club from breaking loose.
You need a guy now to come in out of our bullpen that's going to be able to hold him for at least 4 good innings. Just keep him down. If you can pitch now, get a guy to come in and pitch maybe 4 innings without scoring. You're getting a job out of your long reliever, and that's the main job of the long reliever.
Tough job, a tough pitching test. Brett trying to close it out here. Geronimo bounces to the shortstop. Tavares fields it cleanly. He's got him at first, and that retires the Reds. But they chase the Buck case Jerry Royce with 3 runs on only 2 hits, 2 very big walks, and 3 stolen bases. No errors and 1 left. Well, we've completed 3, and the Reds now lead 4-2.
Pirate Baseball has been brought to you by Iron City Beer. Now your host for Pirate Baseball will be Joy, nature's food for dogs. Higher in protein, it still costs less than most other brands.
A 4-2 ball game in favor of Cincinnati. It's far from over, and Don Gullett has yet to win it very handily against Pittsburgh. The Buccos earned theirs, and with a double by Hebner and a single by Tavares. I got to say, pretty much the Pirates handed the Reds a couple of 3 runs, and when you hand this club a run or 2 that they shouldn't get, why, you are in trouble. And the way you win in a 3 out of 5 is not give them anything. They got to get it. And unfortunately, we gave them a couple. And by giving, I mean bases on balls, allowing the men that do their thing the best to do what they did. Morgan and Steele. Stargell a strike. All-time Pittsburgh Pirate home run hitter with 368 4-baggers. Gullett here works to Wilbur. The 1-1. Wilbur bounces a hard one down toward Perez, and he finds the ball somehow or other and throws it over to Gullett. He played that one like the proverbial monkey running around on the top of a pumpkin, and somehow or other came up with a baseball. He didn't have any more idea where it was than the man on the moon. I'll tell you, sometimes, and I mean it sincerely, I'd rather be lucky than good. And in this case of being lucky, Zisk made what I think's the outstanding play of the game in the first inning on a ball hit by Bench. There's no way Richie could have seen that ball. With that wicked sun hit right at him, and it was by him, and he reached back somehow or other as he heard it come by or whatever and caught it. Well, right then the Reds could have been off and running with a ton of runs. Gullett, 1 ball, 1 strike. And I hope Mr. Gullett stays with those fastballs. And if he does, he's going to find some longies coming around. The 1-1, a swing, the bat flies out of his hands over to the Pirate dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. What the Pirates got to try to do now is not lose their cool, just try to do their thing. You got a guy hitting 200 against you on the season and you walk him, you ain't doing your thing. You're letting them do their thing, especially when he's a guy that can steal a base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A walk to Morgan is a double, my friends. That's no single. 1 and 2 to Richie. Outfield straight away to him. Gullett delivers, and Richie pulls it toward third. Funny hop, and Rose comes up, throws. No. Richie beats it out. And there's where Rose doesn't have it. If you can get him to throw long, you got him. That's not being critical. That's just telling you that the guy's been in the league a long time, and he's not a third base arm. Here's Parker now, hit by a pitch in the second inning. The Cobra's got a sting one here, and she's out of sight, and it's a tie game. They're going to shift around a little bit in the infield. Concepcion comes in to holler something. They're not going to hold Zisk. No threat to run, really. In behind him is Perez. 4-2 score, 1 out. The Reds have the 4. And Gullett throws a strike. Pirates have been unhappy with the umpiring of one John Kibler. I'm not saying that he's been good or he's been bad. I'm just merely telling you they've been unhappy. In that first inning, it looked like they had all kinds of problems going with him. A ball, a stolen base on a fastball. A fastball, it's got to be charged to Bench. Now let's see if they're going to call it a wild pitch. All right. That's a rule. On a ball into the dirt, it's automatically a wild pitch. I'll tell you, that's a ball Bench should have handled. Now, John, for all of his great ability to catch, is not the best at hanging on to a ball, my friends. You'd be amazed the number of times I've observed him behind the plate with balls popping out of his glove. And it's been that way with Sengi. More so this year than any time I've seen. It makes a difference. 1-1. Swinging a foul back. Parker took a good rip. Now with 1 out and Zisk at second base on a wild pitch, Parker can make some kind of contact and the Bucks can get a very big run in. Don Gullett, who has trouble beating this Pirate team, leading 4-2, 1 out in the 4th inning with a long way to go. Once again, Gullett ready to look. The 1-2 delivery. Parker hits a fly ball shallow center. Geronimo in, Morgan back, and it is Geronimo that makes the grab, and holding second is this. And that'll bring up Richie Hebner. Hebner hit a double in the second inning. Richie out of the lineup 3 different times during the year, but had a lot of things going for him. I think he's made up his mind that the season that just concluded is all over and forgotten about it. You can redeem the whole doggone thing in 5 games or less. And he hauled off and wrapped a double in the second inning, driving in a very big run. Johnny Bench out to talk to Gullett. Gullett, a very fine all-around athlete. No ands, ifs, or buts about that. Now the shadows are all over the place, and it's the right fielder's got trouble a little bit on a ball hit right to him. The shadows are all around him, but one little area is a bright patch of sunlight. Here's a look back to second, the pitch, and it's high, ball one. To be perfectly honest with you, for both ball clubs, it's a lousy time to be playing a game of baseball, 4 o'clock. I don't care if you get $1 million for it, and they do. 1 ball, no strikes. From the ball player's standpoint, I'm telling you, it's a bad time to be playing. Now Hebner checking. Zisk off second. Here's the pitch from Gullett. Hebner swings a foul out of play to the left. Pirates 2 runs on 3 hits. The Reds 4 runs on 4 hits. If it should stay this way, the story tomorrow will be all Morgan. But lost in that will be the great catch by Zisk and a couple of other plays that occurred. It'll all be overlooked by the front-running media that'll go to the man that stole 3. Ball 1 and strike 1. Pitt beat Duke 14-0. Ball 2, strike 2. Over to my left, a very nervous young man. His name is Marty Brenneman. And I'll tell you why he's extremely nervous. Ken Coleman is broadcasting with Woody Woodward, not that nervous. Here's the 2-2. High fly. I've lost it. It's out into where? Right field, and now it's gone by Griffey. I just had to keep looking until I saw an outfielder make a move. I knew the ball was high, but nobody moved, and I lost the ball in the lights, and I couldn't see it. And then the right fielder, Griffey, got it. So that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Reds are on top 4-2. Talking about a very nervous young man. Ken Coleman, former announcer for the Boston Red Sox for many years, a veteran announcer with Woody Woodward. They wouldn't figure in broadcasting in the World Series into the setup. The voice of the Reds is Marty Brenneman, and he would. And whether he gets into the World Series depends on whether his ball club gets in the World Series. So it is a great thought for him, and I wouldn't blame the young man because it would be his very first effort in that endeavor. We've had the pleasure of being in 5 and 2 with our own club. Don't get me wrong. I'd dearly love to be in another one. Thought for him, and I wouldn't blame the young man because it would be his very first effort in that endeavor. We've had the pleasure of being in 5 and 2 with our own club. Don't get me wrong. I'd dearly love to be in another one this year. I'll get there only if the Buccos win it. Gullett singled to drive in a run in the 2nd inning. Got a little sizzler off the left side of the bat. When I say scissor, just dribbled through, ball 1. Sort of looked at me like he had been jammed a little bit on the pitch. And in the older days, and the guy got a hit like that, the next time up, they'd have thrown it right through his body. Say, don't you ever do that to me again. He lined a foul off the first base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Those are little no-nos now. You're not allowed to do things like that anymore. You mustn't do that. 1-1 pitch from Brett. Weekly foul, a curve off the left side. Gullett's a fine all-around athlete and a great pitcher. The fact the Reds won 108 games doesn't mean they're necessarily the best team in the National League. They won 108, a lot of them against a team that everybody beat. And they played them more because they're in the same division, a ball inside. Everybody beat on Houston and San Diego, my friends. And they played them a lot of games. We didn't. We only got to play them 12 times. That's where they build up their big edge. There's a high fly right field. The Cobra should wrap him up. Boy, would it be funny. I'd like to see them leading 4-2 in the top of the 9th bases loaded and jerk one. And watch the balloon go out. The air go flying around. Here's Pete Rose. I'd like to, but they'd like it the other way. I don't blame them. Boston beat Oakland 7-1. There were 7 errors in that first game. A well-played contest. Luis Tiant threw a 3-hitter at the Oaklanders, beating Holtzman. Penn State beat Kentucky. Pitt beat Duke. And the last we heard, West Virginia was on top of SMU by 5 points, like 21-16. Pitch to Rose, ball 2, and it passes out of Sanguin's end. There have been a ton of balls bouncing out of Sanguin's mitt. It's almost as though he's got a goat horns in there. I don't know what that's from, but I've never seen it happen so much this year. Here's a 2-out to Rose. There's a strike from Kimmer. They made one ruling of an error today in that Boston-Oakland game I want to tell you about, a swing and a miss. First time I've seen it made, and I got to say I thought it was a great call. The outfielder for Oakland missed the cutoff man on the throw to the trying to cut down a runner. Foul back. In the opinion of the official score, if he hits the cutoff man, the runner's out easily. He charged the man with an error for making a bad throw to his cutoff man. And you know what? It's a good ruling, because a Major League ball player is supposed to be able to make that play. Rose takes high, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Rose is, for the year, batting at .317. He's 0-2 here this afternoon. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and he lines it towards center. It's a base hit. That's hit number 5. Morgan, who's walked twice. Well, one thing, if you walk Morgan now, at least he can't steal second without running over Rose. Joe Morgan has set 3 records today. First player ever to steal 3 bases in a championship series. First in the National League to steal 2 bases in 1 inning, and has 4 career stolen bases for another record. Foul. And there's a ball getting away from Sanguin on a strike swing, and it wasn't a foul. Now let's see what they're going to rule here. Another pass ball charged to Sanguin. It was swung on a miss by Morgan. Morgan has walked twice, stolen 3 bases. Morgan missing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he goes down swinging. Now that's how you keep the Reds from winning. You pitch to him. And you get him out. Keep him off the base. You walk him and you got him in trouble. If you do walk him, you got to have a Bobby Moose pickoff play. And he's the best we got. Bobby Moose is right here. I'm sure Nellie has told you that strikeout is number 2. And this year I thought they tried to figure out that Bobby Moose had an illegal pickoff play, and that began to burn me up a little too. There's Bench on a fly ball to left. It's playable. Zisk and Oliver. Oliver makes the grab. That retires the side. We go now to the 5th inning, 4-2 Cincinnati.
The next portion of Pirate Baseball will be brought to you by Z-Bark Rust Proofing. Z-Bark says it's us or rust.
Beginning to warm up here, and take 20 seconds for our local stations.
Hi, this is Warren Mann. Sickle cell anemia is an inherited disease that affects the black community. There is no cure, but there is a place to turn. The Sickle Cell Society of Pittsburgh sponsors counseling, free blood tests, and medical research. To find out how you can help fight sickle cell anemia, call the Society today at 441-6116.
Bobby Moose is here with us, and Bobby, great thing about picking off a guy like Morgan or any base stealer is to have a good move, and you had a great one, and it seemed to me sometime this year they started to say you weren't making a proper pivot.
Yes, Bob, they wanted me to completely turn when I threw him. I mean, by that I mean completely turn my whole body around, because I use my feet real quick, and they said my feet weren't coming all the way around, and I mean, a left-hander can get away with about anything they want, and this was sort of disturbing me, so I didn't change it at all. I just kept on doing it the same way. And after they saw that it was consistently the same all the time, I don't think they can really say that much about it.
Well, that's right. You've been doing it ever since you've been in the big leagues, and all of a sudden why they would start it, I don't know. Well, right now we go to Tavares, and the Spider is 2-0. Knocked in a big run for us. Gullett, 2 balls, no strikes. It's amazing how sometimes in championship series, unbelievable, where all of a sudden something breaks out where you least expect it. And here's ball 3 to Tavares, and it might be right here. If he gets on now, we got a threat to run on Mr. Bench. Because I'll tell you, John can fire, there's no doubt about it. But the 3-0, and a strike 3-1. But he can only throw so well. You got to have the guy that's the pitcher getting it up there to you where you can do something with it. Tavares has had a look to Skinner. 4-2 Reds in the 5th. And here comes the 3-1 delivery. He's walked him. Nope. The pitch was inside, and on the inside corner, Tavares thought the pitch, no question about it. I'll tell you, from the way it looked from here, I'm not going to say it wasn't a strike, but it sure had to back up a good piece there to get the plate, Bobby Moose.
It's one of those pitches that I think from here, I've never set up here before. It's a little bit hard for me to tell, but the ball could have been inside. It could have went either way.
3-2 delivery. Now there it is, ball 4, and he was inside again with it. So that is Gullett's first walk, and that's the first chink in his armor, as far as I'm concerned. We're now loosening Larry Demery for the second time, and Billy Robinson's going to bat. Demery does not need that much time to warm up. So Billy Robinson, who on the year played some great baseball for us, batted at .280, had 6 home runs and 33 runs batted in, will bat for Kemmerer Brett. Bobby Moose, I didn't get a chance, but Nelly, I'm sure, probably asked you. If he didn't, I want to ask you again. You came back, you finished strong, and it had to give you a lot of hope and help and thoughts for about next season.
Yes, it did, Bob. You know, there for a while, I think the whole organization had given up on me that I couldn't throw. And I wanted to come back in the last month and show everybody that, in the organization that I could still throw, and I'm still able to win up here.
Well, you did all of that, and I just wish, gosh darn it, you were eligible to go. Right now, Robinson up and a strike to him. However, things will come along, and Bobby Moose, before you know, will be back down there with a little sunshine girl called April. You bring Mother along, too, and they'll be going. Robinson a swing. Acquired at spring training from the Philadelphia Phillies. Here's an upset that's going to knock you for a loop. Here's the look, the 0-2, swing, struck him out. Well, I'll say one thing you forgot up there, Bob Moose. He just came with some heat.
3 high fastballs. That's a pitcher going to have to lay off when you're hitting against Gullett. The high fastball that's out of the strike zone.
Michigan State beat Notre Dame 10-3. 10-3, Michigan State over Notre Dame. Ooh. Well, we got our own troubles. Ain't going to worry about theirs. Now the batter, Ronaldo Stennett. Light him up, Rennie, right in the gap. Need a bug in the rug, a curve away, good layoff pitch. Stennett struck out, went out on a little chopper off the right side that Gullett grabbed and took him unassisted. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike, runner first, Tavares. Down low, we got 1 out, the Reds lead 4-2. On 5 hits to our 3. Stennett struck out and went out unassisted to the pitcher. Now they got a guy warming. It's like Eastwick out checking. 2 balls and a strike. Foul tip, a good swing. That's Billingham. Yeah, he just Billingham. Gee, his pitch will look like it's floating up there on a gravy train after looking at Gullett. Those are the guys that bother me more. Watching our guys swing at it. The junkers bother me more than anybody. Well, I mean, when I say they affect me watching our guys swing, I don't think you can smoke our 9 out of the park too often for any great length of time.
Not consistently.
No way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rennie Stennett. The check, the pitch, and there's a ball hit out into right center, not deep enough. Geronimo coming up into the sunlight, got it. Now Sanguin fly to center and bounced out to second base. Rose saying something down there to Gullett. First base, Tavares. 2 out. Bucks need a bug on the rug. We get a bug on the rug, we got to run.
I'd settle for a home run right here.
Yeah, I would too. Here's a look, step off the mound. 2 best teams in the National League are going at it. The Reds from the west, the Buccos from the east. And the Reds on top here, 4-2 in the 5th inning with 2 outs. Tavares, who led off with a walk. There at first base, time called. One of the things that is rather perplexing, and of course there's not an awful lot you can do about it now, is the fact you don't have, in the minds of many, the 6 best umpires here working. They got a little rule they put in, somehow or other. You want to call it a union or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But they got it set up so that they rotate it. Now, we got a 1st or 2nd year umpire working here right now, and you're not going to tell me he's as good as a Shag Crawford or Eddie Vargo. No way. Pitch inside. And it just seems like kind of a funny thing. I myself would be in favor of putting in the 6 best umpires in the National League East and the 6 for the World Series, 3 from each league. And if you want to give everybody a shot, put the money in the pot. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip, 1-1. So you ask an umpire and they all say, no, we're all as good as the other. Well, that's a bunch of baloney. If that were the case, then every baseball player is as good as anybody else, and statistics, won and lost records, they don't mean anything. That is not true at all. But that's the way they work it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Ball 1 and strike 1. The pitch. Hard line drive right side. Diving Morgan. Can't get it. Skips off. Dives in the shallow right. Coming up forward is Tavares. Now, I'm going to say something, and Morgan is the MVP player. There isn't any question in the book. Stennett sticks that ball in his back pocket and throws him out a mile. He has more range than any second baseman I've ever seen. The greatest second baseman I've seen is Mazeroski. Range-wise, and anybody I've seen can go with Stennett, Bobby.
No, I don't think there's anybody. I've been around the league now 8 years, and I haven't seen anybody with the range going both to his right and his left as Rennie has.
He can do it. Now, do you suppose Mr. Oliver can give us one out there where it says 114.30 meters?
That sounds like a good place to put one.
Let's sting it. There's a ball loose from the dugout down the line. Billingham threw a pumpkin, and it dazzled his catcher, Plummer, with such velocity it had died 15 feet from his legs and fell in between the plate and went on out into the infield. Threw him a changeup on his changeup. Right now, the Bucks need a base hit badly. There's Oliver hitting a ball very deep in the right center, going way back, and it's caught at the wall by Geronimo. you lucky rascal. The wind blowing to left. He got it up high in the air. And he can walk off the mound, and he is lucky. Believe you me, that baby took Geronimo right to the wall. That means if he pulls it just a fraction, it's a 3-run homer. It's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left, end to 4.5. It's 4-2, Cincinnati. I'll tell you right now, I said if he can hit it where it says 114.30 meters, he just pulls the ball about 7 more feet to the right. Oliver's got a 3-run homer. Well, he didn't quite get it there. Let's take 20 seconds for our local stations.
Bill Perry in the morning. John Springnuts in 90 to flip. When it's on sports, TV Pittsburgh. TV Sports.
All right, now the batter's going to be Perez. We owe for station identification, and we'll get it in a moment. Larry Demery is on the pitch in place of Brett. Brett went 1 in the 3rd inning. The losing pitcher thus far is Royce. Demery won 7, lost 5. He's been a fine right-hand pitcher. Goes to Perez, a swing and a miss, and we'll pause for station identification. It's the Pirate Baseball Network. Pitches up inside to Perez. Perez bounced out to second, singled softly into center field in the 3rd to drive in a run. Just a foul out of play. We had walked Morgan, and then he stole a couple of bases, and Perez singled. When Morgan stole that third base at 3rd. That was the 3rd he'd stolen 1 game. That's a new playoff record. 2 in 1 inning is a playoff record, and 4 for the playoff championship series is a record. And, oh, what was wrong with that pitch? A ball, 2 strikes. I couldn't have asked for a guy to hit a ball to where I wanted it hit any better than I asked for Oliver, the 114.30 meter mark. And the darn thing was just to the left of that, about 10 feet. And it was where it was catchable, right at smack up against the boards by Geronimo. If it's right where I'd asked for it, it's a 3-run homer. That's the difference, my friends, in this game right now. And it would have been 5-4 Pittsburgh. Just that simple. Now the 3-2 count to Perez. And he walked him, and there's where we're killing ourselves. 5 walks. We have given the Reds 2 of their runs on these walks. And I said earlier in my analysis, for whatever it meant, that you cannot give the Reds runs. And when you give them runs, you are in some trouble. Here now is Foster. He singled, and we gave him a run when he moved into second on a pass ball. Charged to San Gian. Slide to right field in the 3rd. Pitch is a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Look over to first now, the pitch. Underneath with his fastball, and a count of 1-1. Boston whacked into Oakland today, and I mean clobbered them. They were charged with 3 errors in the 1st inning. Stretch and the look in the 1-1 here to the batter, Foster. And he slams it to the right side of Tavares, who couldn't make the play, and he has a base hit. I tell you right now, the walks by our pitching is bad. You got to make them hit it. They hit it, they hit it. Walks terrible. Here's Concepcion. He walked and he flied out to right field. Now we're going to be playing up here as though we look for a bunt. Hebner up tight at third a little bit, way up inside Stargell. Larry Demery. Here's a look now, the pitch, and he takes a strike. He squared as though he was going to bunt. Hopefully our flagship station, KDKA, can let us know what happened to the West Virginia Southern Methodist ball game. West Virginia was leading 21-16 in the fourth period. One of the really great powerhouse ball clubs of the country. Notre Dame's been upset. West Virginia, they can hang on there in a whale of a spot. Here's a look in the 0-1, and he bunts a pop-up. And Sanguillen diving doesn't get it. Demery diving doesn't get it. Sanguillen's the man that had to get it and didn't. Hebner cannot get the ball. Hebner's got to play back at third in the event of a play there. Sanguillen tried to get to it and should have, but didn't pick it up right away. Demery, coming like the wind, dived for the ball and slid on his tummy and couldn't hold it. So the count now to Concepcion, no balls, 2 strikes. Everything thus far in this game has broken right for Cincinnati. But that is not the story of the game. The story of the game are 5 walks. And Cincinnati's taking advantage of those walks. And then Griffey getting a 2-out double that broke the back for the moment of the Buccos in the third inning. Here's the look, and now the pitch. And it's a foul to the right out of play. When he slapped the double off Royce with the runners going on a 2-2 pitch, it just hit in the gap and they got it. And that many times is what's this game of baseball. Just as though when it was in the gap, the ball hit by Oliver just missed. If he has the ball down, he's got a double. If he gets it up, which he did, and pulls it just about 4 more feet to the right, he's got a 3-run homer. That's why the game of baseball is such a charming game, and one that delights some and kills others. There's a ball hit on a weak chop up to third. Hebner bare hands and can't get it. He's got a base hit. So he fails to bunt, butchers 2 of them, and then gets a high bouncing chop for a base hit, and there's nobody out. That makes you want to just turn around and what, Bob Moose?
I saw the guy go right out there 2 times. It's a thing to keep the guy from bunting, and he gets a high chop, and he gets both guys over, and he gets a base hit out of the ball. It's just a ball that's just too hard to field with his speed, and it's just a tough, really tough play for Rich to make on third base to be able to throw him out.
No way he can do anything about it. Now he pops up a bunt that Rich can't catch because he's got to play back in the event of a play there. If anybody's going to get it, it has to be Sanguillen off to the left, and Demery came like the wind diving and couldn't get it. So when you have a guy try to bunt and fail and pop one up and get away with it, and then hollow up and hit a Baltimore chop base hit, you got to almost say your snake business just ain't your day yet.
That's one of those things I think has happened here a couple times already.
That's about all you can say, and that's all there is to it. And the Reds now have the bases loaded on Demery, and the batter is Griffey, and we're listening Kent DeColby. So Griffey with a double and 2 runs driven in, and here's where the Reds can break it open and make it a chariot race. They get a shot right here, they can wide open. Here's where the game hangs right now. If he gets a pop, Buccos have had it, I'll tell you right now. If they can get out of the inning, it's an altogether different thing. It can swing the momentum the other way. Makes a great game to second guess, to say if, and all sorts of things, depending on just how objective you are when you watch the contest itself and look back on all the plays. A bluff throw to second and not made as Foster slid back in. Well, West Virginia remains undefeated. They beat SMU 28-22. They got to be ranked in the front 7 or 8 now of the nation. So Bobby Bowden's Mountaineers continue to roll. Pitch to Griffey high for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Royce went 2 2/3 innings, and the thing that killed him were 4 bases on balls, plus a pass ball and 3 stolen bases. That's the thing that you'll look at that. It'll really tell you the story. And it's given the Reds too many chances to get up there and bat with their big men. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch, a curve, a swing, and a foul back. You just can't let Rose, Morgan, Bench, and Perez, and Foster, and Griffey, and guys like that get up more than 4 times in a ball game. And that's all they should get up, Bob, if you're playing right. They're getting up for their 4th time, and we're only in the 5th.
They get up 4 times, and it's just this early in the game. I mean, the score right then would be very deceiving. It's just 4-2.
You better believe it. We are fortunate to only be behind a pair. 1 ball, 2 strike, bases loaded, nobody out. Demery looking for the sign. And here comes the pitch now to Griffey. And he slams a drive deep right, hooking on the ball. Parker has got the ball foul, but he didn't catch it. The ball went in the corner foul, and I can't see it, and Parker didn't get it. That could be a big break there if we can get him out now.
If he catches the ball, the guy's going to take up and score.
Easy.
It might have been a wise thing that he couldn't catch it.
I'll tell you one thing we got to say about Parker, Bob Moose. He certainly has come along. He looked like a fellow that was having all kinds of trouble defensively. And all of a sudden, he's turned into a very, very fine right fielder.
I think over last year to this year, I think he's improved himself about 100% in the outfield as a defensive player.
Just keeps that up for about another year or 2, and he'll be a superstar. He's so close to it now. A 1 ball, 2 strike count to Denora's Ken Griffey. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. Just outside, 2-2. One Cincinnati player, and I won't name him, who always keeps on saying, we play you in the championship series, we'll beat you easy, there's nothing to beating you. There's one guy who keeps telling me that. And he gloats when he does it. Ball 2, strike 2. Hard wrap right side, up comes Smith. Second base 1, no play elsewhere. Slight bobble. We had a double play if he can make it. But this guy, Griffey, can fly. We were playing back, and he had no play on Perez coming home. So he'll get a run batted in. Griffey at first on a force out. Concepcion is out, 4-6. Foster has moved to 3rd. Perez has scored the 5th run. Charged a run to Demery. Well, in any event, he always delighted in giving it to me like that until finally I said to him, it's a funny thing how when you apparently feel that we choke. He says, that's right. I said, well, if that's the case, how come I got all the World Series rings and you ain't got a 1? You've been there twice and you really choked. Fly ball into center field is going to get another run. Now the score, 6-2, and the Reds have the Pirates by the throat score-wise, but let me tell you something. You'd be amazed how many times when they're going around that all of a sudden a couple of men are on and somebody goes ding-a-ling-a-lang and it's 6-5.
It doesn't take the Pirates long to score 2 and 3 runs.
It sure doesn't, and this game is far from over. Now here is Don Gullett. Now let's see what Demery does with him. Now, he did a wrong thing. He didn't throw it in high enough in and up. The time you really buzz him, you flatten him and knock him off the plate in a hurry. Bad pitch. No balls and 1 strike. I didn't say hit him. I said you just knock him down.
Just show a little bit of respect.
That's right. Nothing in 1. He took a rip. He'll take another rip, too. There it is, and there's a ball hit a mile to center home run to left field. believe me when I tell you how he should have fixed the gullet. That's his first home run. Now it's an 8-2 ball game. That could be his first ever for all I know. Wait till I look. I'm talking about as a major leaguer. Really hard to hear the PA announcer here, and I don't blame them the way these people are screaming. And are they having fun here in Cincinnati in this the first game? First home run he ever hit, even if he played in Williamsport. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I wouldn't do another thing but just play this game out and have laughs from here on in. Left side base hit, up come no. Severus throws him out. End of 5 innings, they knocked Emery for a loop on 1, 2, 3, 4 base hits. At the end of 5, they lead 8-2.
Talking here with Dave Justy, who makes a habit of retiring batters, I wonder one thing, though, Dave. What about the time that lies ahead when you have to retire?
Bob, my wife Ginny and I have kept our eyes open for an investment retirement home down in Bradenton where we train. You know, after all, the old pond ball can't go on forever.
Oh, that sounds thinking. Tell me, have you found anything yet?
I'll say we have. It's a great place called Meadowcroft, located in the beautiful Bradenton countryside. Better yet, it's a development of Pittsburgh's own National Development Corporation. And I want to tell you that Meadowcroft really offers an ideal Florida lifestyle.
Hey, I know where Meadowcroft is, just minutes away from our part winter quarters, close by some great golf courses and all the fishing you ever want in that beautiful Gulf of Mexico. Bet you and Jimmy were enthused when we found out the low density estate condominiums were selling from the mid-20s to the mid-30s.
So much so, Bob, that I'd like to tell the folks all about it. Write to me, Dave Justy, KDKA, Gateway Center, Pittsburgh 15222. I'll reply with a personal letter giving you all the details.
Well, it certainly has swung very heavily in favor of Cincinnati here. They're now in on top on an 8-2 ball game. You had to bet every dime you had in the world on who had hit the home run for the Reds. You wouldn't pick any pitcher they got. When you got Bench and Morgan and Perez and Foster and Griffey and even Rose, and for that matter, even Geronimo, you wouldn't say Griffey, would you?
Hey, any guys that can hit the home run out there that you expect it from them.
Yeah.
If they hit the home run, it's not, it's no surprise. You get the pitcher to come in and hit one.
Well, he just laid one, and he did not brush him back off the plate, and the tip-off was when he let him swing that first one. Now, the next one, he's got to come back and really ding him, and he didn't, and down he went. Stargell foul back, downtown he went. And they are enjoying this little fanny kicking they're giving us as we play here in the 6th inning. Stargell's Iskin Parker, but make no mistake, it's not over. There's a slot curve. That one popped out of Bench's mitt. Now, he has a lot of those happen to him, too. I don't ask you what it is, but he's had about 6 or 7 a day. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stargell fly ball left field, and Foster. There's one out. There are 1 or 2 catchers. Simmons is not a good catcher for the Cardinals, that is, as far as holding the ball. It's tough, but there are 1 or 2. A guy like Brody.
Duffy Dyer does a good job.
Duffy Dyer's, he corrals him. Darn fine job. There's this going to pop foul off the right side, slicing over the dugout. No, not by Perez. Parker, hit by a pitch and flied out to center. Should Bob Moose by any chance beat us this year and then lose the World Series, the first time we play him, I'll identify the player to you that said what he said to me, and you come along with me, will you? Because I want to tell him if he loses the series what happened, and I may need some help.
I'll be glad. I'll walk right beside you.
All right. I might need some help. But I won't wait getting to him, I'll tell you, if they beat us and if they don't win that series. Parker hits it out here to left center deep, but Geronimo's back on the warning track. Holy Toledo. 3 up, 3 down, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. And Cincinnati leading 6-2. Well, in the 6th inning now, Morgan benching Perez. We've given him 2 walks. He had 132 walks. He's without a doubt the most valuable player in the National League. There's just no way you can deny it. You can't do what he did and not be the most valuable player. Foul back. Well, I'll tell you what he did, in case you're wondering. He batted .327 in 146 games. Scored 107 runs, had 163 hits, 27 doubles, 6 triples, 17 home runs. 94 runs driven in. He walked 132 times. He only struck out 52 times. And he stole 16 bases. And he only made 67 bases. There's a one hopper to Stennett. They throw him out. And he only committed 11 errors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not looking at the complete player, I quit. That's the MVP.
That's my choice right there. I mean, his on-base percentage and everything. He's constantly on a base. He's a threat to steal. Steals almost 70 bases a year.
He's not MVP. It's fixed. And the broadcasters don't have that choice to make the selections. Here's Bench now. He lined out to left on what had to be the most difficult catch of the game. Richie Zesk really made a great play at a crucial moment in the ball game. He walked, scored a run, fly to center, and Demery throws a strike. And John isn't going to argue at this point on that call. Not leading 8-2. If this had meant something, he might still be there, turning around, looking at the gentleman behind the plate, and asking him, in the event you ever regain your eyesight, would you take another look at that ball? 1 no ball, 2 strike on a foul back. This is the umpire. He's a good friend of mine, too. And he cost Bobby Moose, who's sitting right here with me, as far as I'm concerned, the game. And I say he cost. Sure as heck didn't help you any. Man, I thought we had that thing all locked up. I was so mad at NBC. They were all over me in 1971. They said, your club is lousy. We lost 2. And I said, well, all right, I'll tell you guys, we're going to go home, and I'm going to start broadcasting the coast to coast the way I want to broadcast, and that's all there is to it. Now we win 3 in a row. And I said, we'll wrap it in 6. They're pitching Palmer, a high ball pitcher. My man's Moose, a low ball pitcher. The umpire's Kibler, low ball strikes. Foul down the left line. Would you believe it, in that ball game, every pitch above the shoulders was a strike, and everything down at the knees was a ball?
Yeah, I can believe I was there.
His entire call from what he'd done all season long, and Bobby Moose, the pitches you threw, which had been strikes all year long, were balls, and the pitches Palmer threw, which had been balls all year long, became strikes. We lose the game by a run, and Murtaugh got fined a ton, because when he told Kibler what he thought of him going up the runway when the game was over, he forgot he had been wired for sound, and it was all recorded what he said. And what he said, I guarantee even the Supreme Court couldn't pass today as language befitting a king or queen.
I had a few remarks after that game myself.
I don't blame you. I couldn't understand why John switched. I just couldn't. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he's a very good friend of mine. And I like him very much. But that game, I couldn't believe. 1-2 pitch. High. Boy, if ever there was what was the final on that one? They finally tied up. We lost it in 10 innings.
We lost it in 10, yes.
Oh, Robert. Boy, you had that thing won so easy. Well, easy if you could call a 1-run decision easy. We've been all over in 6. There's Mr. Bench striking out. That's what Mr. Demery's got to learn to do more often. Come at him with that pitch and strike him out.
He has an excellent fastball, and he doesn't use it, I don't think, to his full ability, because he has a well above average fastball, and he just doesn't use enough of it. In the days when he is effective, he uses it constantly, and it's a very good pitch.
And it moves, doesn't it?
It's smooth. It's not a straight fastball. He's going to move on. He's going to, I wouldn't say sink, but he'll run on him a little bit, which makes it that more effective.
Now here's Perez, and I'd buzz him right now. I mean, I'd come running in tight. He didn't. He threw him a breaking ball away. Perez bounced to second, singled out the middle, and drove in a run, later scored, and walked and scored. You can't let this guy, the way he crowds the plate and swings, stand in there with any great reckless abandon. There's a foul back. He took a curveball that he hung it a little outside and ripped and missed it. We're getting Doc Ellis up now. Into a glorious record. We allowed Mr. Gullett to hit a home run, his first ever in the major leagues, and the only other one ever hit in the championship series, Mike Cuellar hit it, who's a pretty good hitter, against Minnesota at Minnesota, where the ball's Cuellar hit it, who's a pretty good hitter, against Minnesota at Minnesota, where the balls fly out of that park, by the way, in the left center. I'm not diminishing the fact that Cuellar, but just remember that Harmon Killebrew hit a ton of home runs up there to become one of the most prolific all-time home run hitters. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down to Perez. 8-2 score, Cincinnati. First game of 5. Ball 3. They were going to trade this guy, or at least they said they were. Maybe they just said they were to make him angry and make him play. You ever think of that?
I think that's what happened, because they made him angry and made him play.
Yeah. Ball 3 and strike 2, and here comes the pitch. There's a base hit up the middle. It wasn't too sharply hit, but he got it there. Here's Foster. If it weren't for Rose being good enough to come in and say, yes, I'll play third unselfishly, and coming in and play the game, Foster wouldn't be in left field playing all the time, and the Reds might not have won the National League West.
This is always a fact you have to look back on, and it was a move that they found out, and Rose, they said, was sufficient enough, and I guess he's done a good job for him at third base and let Foster play.
The big thing, too, is he did it without griping. Say, you want me to play there? I'll play. Right. Look at Bench. He's played third base, played first base, played left field, played right field. Foster hit a can of corn out to the Cobra. 210 pounds of Golden Bantam, and that puts him away. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. I take your leave at the end of 6 with the Reds on top 8-2.
Well, we move into the final 3 innings, and Don Gullett with an easy 8-2 lead here goes to Ebner, Tavares, and a pinch hitter for Larry Demery. Pirates offensively almost pulled one out in the 5th inning in that long fly ball by Oliver deep to right center field. It just missed the home run. Defense has been good, but pitching today just not there. And Royce or Larry Demery. Hebner, first ball hitting, pops it up third base side in foul territory. Concepcion will make the play. No, nobody does. Rose and Concepcion both had the play, but neither one of them made the catch. Kind of an Alphonse Gaston act there. I got it, you take it, and nobody did.
I got it, you take it, and watch it bounce.
Well, the Reds have done something wrong. Leading 8-2, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. You can get away with it.
You make it, especially if it's a foul ball.
Yep. Don Gullett having a big afternoon. Go to first base and back on the ground ball to Tony Perez. Covering at first base is Don Gullett. That's about the 5th out he's had at first base. He's kind of dominated things here this afternoon. Don Gullett. Neil Tavares, who's had a good afternoon, singled a drive and a run, walked in the fifth, steps in, takes a strike from Gullett. Tavares taps the shortstop. Concepcion hurries the throw, and he got him at first base. He just got it, too. When Tavares moves down that line, you could see him looking at Concepcion, and he just got him.
He made the routine hit ball, but he made it pretty close over there.
You know who the fast runners are, and you know how much time you have to make a play. You don't have much on a guy like that. Log on Larry Demery. Not a very good afternoon for Larry. 4 runs on 4 hits, all earned, 2 innings. He struck out 1, and he walked 1. Pinch hitter is Willie Randolph for Demery. The count is 2-0 on him. He was up to hit in the 5th inning. He's going to pinch hit for Ken Gratt, but when Tavares drew the walk, they went to Bill Robinson, hopeful of getting a long ball and the home run to tie the game. But Gullett quickly punched him out on 3 fastballs. Willie gets a look here. His first championship in play appearance. Takes a strike. 2 balls and a strike. He blew a fastball by him. Strike 2. Gullett's windup in 2-2 pitch. Fastball foul back out of play, and he's just reaching back and humping.
He's just throwing now. When you got a 6-run lead and you're going into the 7th inning, it's one of the things. You're just throwing the ball in and say hit it. If you get a couple of guys on base, then you're going to step back and try to regroup yourself and start pitching again. You're out there now just throwing the ball. Just telling them to hit the ball.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Randolph way outside, ball 3, and if Gullett has lost anything, it's not apparent because he looks quicker now than he did earlier.
He lost it. It's not on his fastball.
I guess you can pitch nice and relaxed now and just, you don't have to overthrow. He blew him out of there, strike 2. Just ate him right up. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Now we go to the Reds, 7th inning, and the Reds lead 8-2. Doc Ellis comes on to work. This is his, this is the 4th pitcher of the afternoon. Royce started. He's on the hook for it. He gave up 4 runs in 2 2/3. 4 walks really hurt him. Kenny Brett, the only one who pitched well so far. An inning and a third, gave up only 1 hit, struck out 1. Emery punched for 4 runs on 4 hits in 2 innings. He struck out 1 and walked 1, and Doc Ellis now replaces him. Ellis, I'm sure, will be greeted here as he is some places, and he's been announced as the pitcher, and that's what you hear in the background. Year for Doc Ellis. Bob Moose, he looked like he was going to win 30 games this year in Florida.
I've never seen anybody pitch as well as Doc pitched in spring training this year.
You've known him pretty well. What's the story?
I have no idea, Nelly. I was away down in the minor leagues when he left the ball club, and I didn't get the.
I'm just talking about his year. He just looked like he was going to be a good pitcher. But he just lost his fastball.
I think he lost everything. All of a sudden, I don't know if it was his arm or what it was.
Unusual. Concepcion leads off the inning. And the count on him is 1 ball and 1 strike.
He threw so well in the spring, he just overmatched everybody he pitched against all spring training.
Curveball low and away. 2 balls and a strike. Doc in the 70 championship series lost the first game of that series. Pitched well in the 10th inning. They got to him for 3 runs. He won 1 game in the 71 championship series and lost 1 in the 72. Fastball and a foul out of play as Concepcion just couldn't get around on a tight fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I would imagine Doc's in the situation here of having to almost impress somebody.
I think so. Now, since I've been back, he hasn't thrown that much, and what he has is not the Doc Ellis that I know.
Slider right on the corner taken by Concepcion, strike 3. He starts off with a strikeout, getting Concepcion. That'll bring up Ken Griffey, who has really been the big stick here, along with Don Gullett. They both have driven in 3 runs apiece of the 8 that have come in. These two guys, Gullett and Griffey, have driven in 6 of them. Griffey's big double off Royce chased him in the 3rd inning and broke open what was in a 2-2 ball game. He drove in 2 runs. Curveball inside, ball 1. Ellis has all the experience, and if his arm is sound, he's going to be a good pitcher. Curveball down low, ball 2. Doc came up in 1968. In his first full year, 69. He's been around for all the big seasons. And this one, I'm sure he'd classify as a very disappointing one. Foul out of play. 2 balls and a strike. I don't want to sound like I'm defending him in any way, but I think a lot of people misunderstand Doc, and he was pretty well thought of on this ball club, and I don't know what he was thinking of when we were in here in August, but whatever he was thinking of, he botched whatever he was trying to do, and it was unfortunate. The 2-1 pitch. Right there, taken by Griffey, and the count is 2-2. You agree with those sentiments? You know them, I guess, as well as anybody.
Yes, Neil, I can agree with them. Like I said before, I wasn't here, and I don't know none of the circumstances or what was going on, and I think it's Doc may be able to look back at it and regret it. It's something that happened. It's over. I have no idea what was going on.
The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to second base. Then it has to hurry. Throws. He got him at first base. Good play by Rennie. And the Doc isn't quite the controversial figure that he makes himself out to be. I think a lot of people do too.
No, Doc he's one of the first to come up and tell you you threw a good game, or the first to come up and tell you a nice hit, or
sensitive sort of guy.
Right, but it's something that I don't think convey to the public.
I don't think he likes to let people know he is that way. For what reason, I don't know. Geronimo, 0 for 2, hit a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning of Demery. He's driven in a run. Ball 1 to him, 8-2. The Reds lead, and they have an easy ball game going here. Rooker and Norman go tomorrow. Foul back out of play. 1 ball to 1 strike. With the inability of Royce to throw strikes and be the Jerry Royce that he can be, and the inability of Demery to keep the game close has made it a rough afternoon. Pitch way outside. And high. 2 balls and a strike on Geronimo. Pitching keeps you close. The 2-1 pitch. Foul back onto the screen. Strike 2. Bucks have not had a 1-2-3 inning against Cincinnati so far. Had a chance in the 6th inning, but Perez with a 2-out single spoiled it. Ellis trying to get the first one here with a count of 2-2 on Geronimo. Fastball just missed, and he thought he had strike 3, but he didn't get the call. Full count of 3-2. Ellis is just 30 years of age, so he is by no means an old-timer. 3-2 pitch. Foul ball out of play. And I must confess, his fastball today looks better than I've seen it since spring training.
From the viewpoint I have here, it looks like he's throwing pretty good out there.
Full count of 3-2 on Geronimo. 8-2 score. Red Sox won easily this afternoon. 7-1 up in Fenway Park. Fastball and a foul into the crowd.
Just about had that ball by him.
Continues to foul off 2-strike pitches. Geronimo does. Game time tomorrow, same time, 4 o'clock. We will contend with the sunlight and shadows early. And a late dinner. Swing and a foul tip held by Sankey. And so for the first time this afternoon, the Reds go down and order. Ellis retiring them. They go to the top of the 8th inning. Cincinnati leads 8-2. 2-run shot at Wood. He was so overjoyed, he jumped way up in the air, looked like Mazeroski when he hit the home run against the New York Yankees in 1960. In fact, he jumped so high, he came down, it looked like he almost turned his ankle. Yeah, it's been a shame that he turned his ankle and had to leave the game hitting a home run. Wouldn't that have been something? Al Stennett, who is 0 for 3, will lead it off. Sanguine and Oliver will follow. Bob Moose is sitting alongside us, Pirate pitcher. Not enjoying the game any more than we are you?
This is my cup of tea.
Put you in that tea commercial. Stennett takes the curve down low, and I mean real low, ball one. Will McEnany listens in the Reds bullpen. These are tough games to broadcast.
Tough for me to watch. And they asked me this afternoon, they told me I could sit on a bench. I said, no, I'd rather go upstairs and sit. I said, if I sit down here, I'm going to have to put on a different shirt and go out and throw.
2 balls and no strikes on Stennett. Well, let's see if we can get something going here. Maybe score 3 or 4 runs, make it interesting. Who knows? Gullett in with a strike. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, you come back tomorrow, regroup your forces. I guess that's the best way you can look at things right now. Line drive, foul down the right field line. 2-2, the count on running. There's not much doubt that the Pirates have to win tomorrow if they don't win today, because there ain't nobody coming back from losing the first 2 and winning in a 5-game series. You might be able to do that in 7. Is in 5?
In 5, it makes it real tough.
Makes it tough. And then he lines one up the middle. He got a base hit, almost got Gullett on the shin. So then he's on base. That's the way to start things anyway. Well, I said, if there's one thing about a Pirate ball club that I've been watching since 1970 is the ability to maybe look bad and stumble and fall and ridiculous, I guess, at times, but the next day it looks like a different ball club.
Just completely. I think once they walk off the field and give them about 10 minutes in the clubhouse and it's over.
How do you do
that? I don't know. I think it's something that just, I've done it a few times myself, and it's been done a few times in a ball club here, just with the whole ball club. It's just something I think it's just an atmosphere that runs through the clubhouse. Everybody forgets it, I think, just about the same time.
That last loss we had here in '72, that had to be the toughest defeat any ball club could go through. And I know you were right there. I guess Clemente had a big impact there.
He had an impact on it, and it was...
What did he say after that game? He just went around and told everybody.
He just went around and told everybody, you know, we were here, they know they played somebody. We just didn't come out and lay down for 5 games.
Yeah. Don't hang your head, I guess.
No, once you make it to the playoffs, and if you lose, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You were still the best in the East.
Well, he was quite a guy, and of course that was the last game he played right in this ballpark. Sankey in the batter with Stennett at first base. Fly ball deep to center field, but if it's going things, it'll be in the ballpark. It is back on the warning track. Geronimo's got it. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow those things will be going out of here. But certainly today there have been a couple of near misses, and one by Oliver back in the 5th inning with 2-1 would have given the Pirates the lead at that time 5-4, and might have changed pitchers and everything else.
That could have changed the whole game around, but it's one of those things you can say you didn't pull it, hit too high. It's baseball, they say, is a game of inches, and that just happens to be one of them right there.
8-2, the Reds lead the 8th inning. Stennett at first, Oliver the batter, he's 0 for 3. Ground ball, first base side, a base hit into right field. Stennett will come around second and chip, and he falls, and he's going to be out at second base. He was out. Can you believe that? Bad base running by Stennett. I don't know that he thought he was going to go or not, but he sure didn't run hard going around second base, and he stumbled and fell. And he tried to get back in the second, and he was out. Well, that's something shouldn't happen, but it sure did. They said, I mean, no way you get thrown out of second base on a play like that. You're at an 8-2, but we did. The out goes 9-6-4. 2 down, a runner at first, and starts with a bat. That was kind of uncalled for, I guess the best way to say it. Stennett stumbled going around second base. Lost his footing, never got back in. Ball 1. Biggest crowd ever to see a championship series, 54,633. and their Red fans, and they're enjoying it. Stargell fouls out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. This has not been a sterling performance this afternoon by any means. Oliver at first, 2 down. The pitch to Stargell, fly ball, right field. Not deep enough. Now to retire the Pirates. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Well, we'll go to the Reds, 8th inning. Cincinnati leads 8-2. Well, the hero of the afternoon, Don Geller, gets a standing ovation as he steps in against Doc Ellis. And everybody, I guess, except Pirate fans, are up giving Don Geller a standing ovation. And for a very obvious reason, he's given him 3 runs with a single and a home run. A 2-run homer off Demery in the 5th inning that broke this game wide open. And he's allowed the Pirates only 6 hits and only 2 runs, and he leads 8-2. And it's the biggest crowd ever to see a championship series game at Riverfront, 54,633. Here's a pitch by Ellis. Fastball at the knees, taken strike 1. Rice started, he's the pitcher of record. Brett came on in the 3rd. He worked an inning in the 3rd. Demery worked 2, was pounded for 4 runs. Ellis got them out in order in the 7th inning. Chopping bunt off the plate. Sanguin, a tough play at first. He got him. Gullett's out. Sanguin's quick throw to Stargell, nailing him at first base. And that'll bring up Pete Rose, who's had a single before his bats.
Series like this and get your pitcher to have 3 RBIs in the opening game, it's a little bit surprising.
Yeah, it sure is. I guess that hurts more than anything when guys like that beat you, doesn't it? You do a job on the benches and the Roses and the Fosters, I guess. But their RBI guys have been Griffey. The number 7 and number 9 men have dominated this game. Number 7, 8, 9 actually have driven in 7 of the 8 runs. Strike 1 to Rose. And the pitch up high. Ball 1. This is the first time Rose has batted left-handed. Correct me. No, he batted left-handed against Demery in the 5th inning. Grounded to shortstop. Fastball by Ellis up high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 balls and a strike. Ellis' fastball looks like the old Doc Ellis fastball. Kind of a sneaky fast.
Looks like he's throwing good right now.
The 2-1 pitch, fouled out of play down the left field line. Count 2-2. That'll be frustrating for a guy of Ellis's major league career to be a mop-up pitcher in a game like this.
Yes, it is. Now it's coming off a bad year. It's hard, you know. You got to learn to expect just about anything. I know that's what I was doing the first part of the year, and it took me a while to regroup and realize that I was doing things like that.
It's hard on the old pride, I guess.
Yes, it is, and especially when I come back up from Charleston. That's mainly what I was coming up for, and it took a couple games for me to go out and throw well before they would put me in a game, which was going to mean anything.
2-2 the count on Rose, and he's up to high, ball 3. On deck, Joe Morgan. Pirates' last hope in the 9th inning. This Parker and Hebner. Ground ball off the glove of Ellis, and Hebner makes a play. No, he can't do it. He kicks it away, and Sanguin will finally get the ball somewhere over near the on-deck circle on the Reds' territory, in foul territory on the third base side. Ellis had an easy play, but it went off his glove. They ruled it a base hit, but I think if you talk to Doc, he'd say I should have cut that ball.
Anytime I think a ball would hit you like that in the pocket of your glove or something, and you lose it trying to be quick to go to first base, I think that's when he lost the ball.
Now Morgan's the batter. He's had a couple of walks, scored a run, 3 stolen bases, but 0 for 2 on the afternoon. But actually, his running in the 3rd inning is what turned this game around for Cincinnati against Rice. He walked, stole 2nd, and then very quickly stole 3rd while Bench was still at bat. And Royce came completely unglued, walking bench, getting a single to Perez, and finally got Foster and Concepcion to fly to right field. The 0-1 pitch to Morgan. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we're hopeful of talking with Ken Griffey if we can get to him following the ball game on our post-game show. Unless we have an eruption of 7 runs in the 9th inning, and I can't see Sparky Anderson letting anything like that occur. Captain Hook would be out there quite a few times. Morgan lines into the crowd, first base side, strike 2. Reds are quite confident about this series. Sparky Anderson was not out here during batting practice. He suddenly quickly came out onto the field to get Ray Shore. He said, I'm watching the American League playoffs. They've got something for the World Series for us. You're kind of measuring things rather quickly here.
I don't think you can measure anything that quickly, especially when the first game isn't completely over.
Reds have never won a World Championship. I don't think they have. I can't recall what recent years they haven't. 40, I know they were in it, and I think the Tigers beat them. The Yankees beat them in 62 or 63, I guess it was. No, 61. The count on Morgan. Ground ball to third. Hebner gets the out at second. The throw to first base. Not in time. They don't make the play. Really didn't have that much of an opportunity. Morgan just tried to punch the ball off that side. So the throw's out at second base, and Morgan at first. We'll see if he wants to do some running. Leading 8-2. Not likely that he will with bench up there, but who knows? Force play going third to second on Pete Rose. 8-2 the score. The Reds lead, in case you're just joining the broadcast. Griffey broke open the ball game in the third, a 2-2 game with a double off Gary Rice to chase him and hand him the loss, so he's on the hook for it. And then they pounded Demery for 4 runs in the 5th inning. A 2-run homer by John Gullett, putting the icing on the cake. Ellis now the pitcher. Strike 1 to bench. He swung and missed. Morgan showing no sign of running. The ball is looped into left field off the bat of the bench. It's a base hit in front of Zest. And the Reds now have runners at first and second. Tony Perez, the batter. Leading 8-2. 2 down, 8th inning. Everybody in the Reds lineup, with the exception of Geronimo, who hit a sacrifice fly, and Morgan, who has walked twice, has had a base hit. And Geronimo's been the only guy that hasn't been on base. 11 hits and 5 walks. And they have made good 8 runs. Fastball inside, ball 1 on Perez. Swing and a miss by Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball to center field. Oliver makes the grab. Not too well hit at all. No, Ellis gets out of it. Pitches 2 good innings. No runs on 2 hits. No errors. 2 left. And the Pirates' last hope in the 9th inning will be Zist, Parker, and Hebner as we go to the top of the 9th. The Reds lead easily 8-2. Now Don Gullett with an easy 8-2 lead in the 9th inning will face Zist, Parker, and Hebner. And a lot of people now have started to file out of here. The crowd of 54,633 have certainly enjoyed the Reds' success here this afternoon. A 3-run third and a 4-run fifth has been the big story. Gary Royce will be the losing pitcher, and Gullett the winner. Unless we can come up with 7 runs here in the 9th inning. Actually needs 6.
Set up for 6 right now.
Zisk is 1 for 3. Ball 1 from Gillett. 4 o'clock starting time, and this game just about 3 hours old. Actually started at 4:10. A 1-0 pitch by Gillett. Fly ball to right center field. And Griffey will make the grab. No, Geronimo runs him off. 1 down. That'll bring up Parker 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning. Scored our first run on a 2-out double by Hebner, and Tavares followed with a single, and that's been it. We've had only 4 hits since then, and Gillett has stranded all 4. Gillett peering in the twilight here for a sign. Pitches up high to Parker. Ball 1. Inside. Ball 2. The Reds won the opening game of the championship series against the New York Mets in '73 and wound up losing. Well, it's happened before. Fastball inside, ball 3 on Parker. But the Mets came back with some excellent pitching, and we got to get that tomorrow from Jim Rooker. 3-0 pitch. He's in there. Gillett is strike 1. Inside. Ball 4. Let's pause 10 seconds on the Pirate Baseball Network. Well, the crowd booing as Larry Shepard makes an appearance out on the mound to talk to Don Gillett. I don't know what the major concern could be here, leading 8-2 and walking a batter, but they sure do get a little bit concerned rather quickly. The crowd thought they were going to yank him. They're listening. Will McEnany and Raleigh Easter. Larry wanted to make an appearance on television.
Wanted to make an appearance. Waved to everybody home.
Yeah, you played for him in '69. I guess he was a well-respected pitching coach, wasn't he, for years?
Yes, he was in L.A.
Hebner lines one to left field. He'd get a base hit. Well, the Bucks have runners at first and second. That's Hebner's second hit and 4 at-bats. Parker starting at second, and Tavares will be the batter. Yankees gone 1 for 2. The only time they got him out was a bang-bang play in the 7th on a ground out to shortstop Concepcion. This guy's only bounced into 2 double plays all season long. Much underrated ball player, Frank Tavares. He looks at his strike. Bob Robertson has moved into the on-deck circle. Well, you look at that 4-run 5th, and that's been the ball game, really. It put the game completely out of reach. Emery came in and just couldn't get unglued at all. Foul out of play by Frankie. But that was it. It was a 4-2 contest up until then. And you start thinking about things like that in the 9th inning, Bud.
Yeah, really, it makes it a different ballgame. It's 4-2 and you got 2 guys on, only 1 guy out. I'm sure Larry Shepard wouldn't have been walking out there for a courtesy that time.
We might have made a change in the 8th inning when we had runners that instead nailed it second baseman each up. Pitching is long relief is an important part of this game, and people overlook it.
Well, coming out of the bullpen, everybody looks for your short man, but if you have a good long reliever that can come in for you consistently and do a job, it takes a lot of a burden off your short man out there.
Yeah, with a ball club that scores runs like both of these clubs do, that's what really is the key factor. It keeps you in the ballgame.
You have to have somebody come in and stop in the middle innings, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th innings.
Count of 0-2 on Tavares. He just fouled out of play. Gillett walking off the back of the mound like Ravatsky here, doing meditating. You ever think of doing that?
I really can't knock it because I haven't tried it, but I don't.
No, must have some purpose. It certainly hasn't hurt Ravatsky at all.
It hasn't hurt him a bit.
Yeah. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Tavares. foul back out of play. Well, the count holds 0-2.
I might go back there and forget what I'm supposed to be meditating about.
I'd have to think that one over again. Little Dorsey's got it push guy. Better clean that act up a bit, Bill. Tavares pops foul, and it's again out of play. This guy's done a whale of a job the last 2 months of just putting the ball in play. It's something he didn't do earlier. And it's not an easy thing for him.
No, it's not, because he's not strong. He's just, with the speed he has, if he hits the ball anywhere in a hole in the infield, he has a real good chance of beating it up.
One down, runners at first and second, 8-2. The Reds lead ninth inning. Tavares started to go, but checks off, and they won the field play. And if they get a strike, oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, what a push call that was at first base. Randy Olson called him out, and Tavares wants to get out and argue with him. They missed 2 of those before, and Skinner hauls him right back. I got to tell you, earlier in this ball game, Ben struck out. Morgan struck out on swings, and they never called them. And Tavares did not swing. And I'll tell you, when you're losing 8-2, those things really hurt.
They hurt, especially on something that I don't think was close.
It sure wasn't. Crowd not enjoying it all. I'll tell you, this umpiring here today has been nondescript at best, I would guess. He hasn't played well at all either, but somebody's missing a whale of a game. I tell you, the umpires they picked for this series aren't the best in the league. And if I sound critical, I am. But they don't pick the best umpires. They just rotate them around. Robertson, the batter. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Quite understand why umpires behind home plate can't call that pitch anymore. They used to. Foul back out of play. I've seen more calls at first base or third base in the last couple of years. Do you notice that?
It's like you say, within the last 2 years, they always
because the catchers are always asking.
I think it comes down to where you're making an appeal play, and they say that the guy on the line can see it better.
I guess so. That's good.
I've seen a few today that haven't been viewed the same way. I don't think anybody else has viewed them.
Robertson pops it up, and that'll do it, I believe. No, it's going to drift out of play, just out of play, into the box seats behind the Reds dugout. Hey, Robbie has life. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bob Robertson pinch hitting for Doc Ellis. Randy Olson will be behind the plate tomorrow. Foley will be at first. Williams, Billy Williams, will move into second. Kibler, I guess, go down the right field line. Art Williams will go to left field, and Gorman will be at third. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runners lead, first and second, and ball 2. Or ball 2, rather. Gullett wanted the strike. He didn't get it. He stares in. Bench didn't agree with the call either. Count of 2-2 on Bob Robertson. Reds have game number 1 pretty securely locked away. One more pitch could do it. Foul by Robbie. I don't know how Andy Olson thought Tavares swung on that pitch.
I don't think it was. It wasn't. I don't think it was even close.
Sure didn't mean the ball game. I'll say that. There's a line drive to left field. It's going to be a base hit. Reynolds score. 8-3 the score, but it doesn't mean a whole lot right now. But it does keep it going anyway. Base hit by Bob Robertson. A pinch hit drives in our 3rd run. Parker scoring from second base. Hebner moved into second on the play. And the batter will be Ronnie Stennett with a single in 4 at bats. 8-3 the score. And that 4-run fifth. Looks bad. Go take that one off the scoreboard. Time called as I think they might have a pinch runner or something. I don't know what's going on. Something in the dugout. Whether they're going to chase Tavares out of the dugout or what they're trying to do. Maybe that's what happened. Tavares might have been run out of the game. He's still in the dugout.
I think Danny's trying to find a pinch runner for Roberts.
Trying to find somebody, I think, to run for Bob Roberts. And he's taking his time. He wants the umpires to come over and talk to him because he wants to say something. That's exactly what it is. The Irishman wants them to come over so he can talk to him. Look at this. That's all he's doing. He finally got somebody. And Murtaugh is letting Kibler know exactly how he feels, and Billy Williams, too. Murtaugh lost some money to Kibler in the 1971 World Series in a game you pitched.
Yes, he did.
He met him in the runway following that game.
For some of the things I said, I could have lost some, too, but I think he must have known he was wrong a few times.
Well, Craig Reynolds will pinch run, and that's simply all Murtaugh was doing. He wanted to make sure that Kibler or somebody came over there because he wanted to tell them.
He wanted to let something be known to somebody right there.
Well, the afternoon does wear on. It's over 3 hours old. The Reds lead 8-3, and this game pretty well socked away, but still fun to look at it here in the ninth inning. Stennett with a single in 4 at-bats. Fouls back out of play. Strike one. Neither ball club has committed an error here this afternoon. Ground ball was short, that'll do it. Concepcion goes to first, and they got stuck. Well, the Reds win the opening game of the championship series easily by the score of 8-3.
Here's something really special.